95 FM and BBC Radio Scotland on BBC Sounds. Both are live online at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Oh, what a goal!
All the action.
What a moment!
From all the biggest games.
This is Sport Sound.
Oh, it's a goal!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Another goal!
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. We've been round the top flight grounds. We've heard from a number of managers, lots of talking points, some big games in the top flight this afternoon. We are covering two games in the Championship after an absolute belter at Starts Park last night. So let's get to East End Park. That's a big game there this afternoon. Dunfermline at home to Arbroath and Kasim Sheikh.
Good afternoon, Kenny. Big fixture indeed, both at the bottom of the table, 6 points separating them. Both James McPate, the Dunfermline manager, and Jim McIntyre, the Arbroath manager, will be very hopeful for 3 points today or something out of the game. It's interesting that Chris Kane will make his first appearance on loan from St Johnstone for Dunfermline with 294 appearances and 57 goals. They will be very hopeful that he can kickstart his time at Dunfermline well today. It should be an interesting fixture. I'll keep you updated.
Good stuff, looking forward to that. Actually, a goal already in Scotland. Montrose 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Blair Lions in the first minute there. Let's then get to John Robertson. He is watching Inverness carry Thistle against Partick Thistle. Good afternoon to you, John.
Good afternoon, Kenny, and it's an interesting game for both teams. You know, Thistle will be looking to try and sneak themselves back into the title race, and Inverness are looking for points to move away from the bottom and give themselves a wee outside chance of a playoff spot to begin with. There's no changes from Inverness. They go with the same team as last week, which is Matt Ridgers in goals. You've got Kerr, Colin Mullen, Carragher and Savage and Harper at the back. Gilmore Shaw in the midfield with McAllister, Mackay up front. Two changes from Partick Thistle. Out go McMillan and Stanley. In come Williams and Macbeth. They go Sneddon in goals, Williams, Muirhead, Nielsen, Milne, Bannigan and Macbeth in midfield, Lawless, McEnroy, Fitzpatrick, Graham up front. The referee today is Grant Irvin.
Thank you to John Robertson. Kenny Crawford, you should have an absolute belter this afternoon. Top of the table clash in League One, Kenny.
Yeah, 5,500 people here today, Kenny. A brilliant turnout, and already in 2 minutes Hamilton Accies have had a really good chance on goal by Kevin O'Hara, who has scored 13 goals this season for Accies and spent over 5 years as a player at Falkirk. So it'll be interesting to see as the afternoon goes on whether he comes back to haunt them or not. But you'd think if Falkirk won today, they'll put 1 foot back in the Championship, a division they've not been in for 5 years. They're 8 points clear at the moment with a game in hand at the top of League One, and could go 11 points clear today with a win. Really good chance for Akeem Rose as well in terms of Hamilton Accies. He's making his first start for Accies today after joining on loan from Ayr United. And if you think back, I said they haven't been in the Championship, Falkirk, for 5 years. They haven't been in the top flight of football since 2010. Unbelievable chance for them to make one step back up at the end of this season. Really good game ahead, Kenny.
Yeah, they're having a terrific campaign. John McGlynn's side, one game has finished in the English Premier League. Brentford 1, Liverpool 4. We'll keep you updated on all the goal news this afternoon. That early strike, as I said, Montrose 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Blair Lions in the first minute of that game. We'll go around the ground, some talking points this afternoon. I want to speak about VAR because there was a report from the SFA this week. We'll get the guys' thoughts on that and the findings of that report. I also want to get more from Tom on Lyle Abada and what we heard there from Brendan Rodgers, and also someone sent me a wee snippet from Private Eye. It used to be called Coleman Balls, commentator balls now.
David Coleman.
Yes, one of our pundits made an appearance in that. Oh, you know.
What's on about Kenny?
I just got told about it earlier. So I was looking what was sent to me, Alan, right? What was sent to me, just let me find this on my phone, because there were a few. So looking some of the ones. So Jermaine Genus, Ross Barkley just didn't stand out. He was outstanding. There was another one here. Alistair Bruce Ball and 5 Live. Maidson have brought 4.5 fans today. And Alan Preston on BBC Radio Scotland. One of the Motherwell players looks like he's taken an elbow up the far end. An elbow up the far end, according to this. So,
If you listened to the BBC commentary last night, there was more. There'd be more going in.
oh, I couldn't believe it last night. I could not believe. Michael is featuring all over social media. You hear it?
No, I didn't.
Leanne used to picked it out.
If you've not seen it or heard it, you could check social media, Tom. You'll find
Is it a bit rude? Is it a bit a double entendre?
He was trending, let's just say.
Was he?
Yeah, he was certainly
All right, I'm
trending.
straight on my. Excuse me while I consult.
Have a look at that. Burnley 0, Arsenal 1. Martin Odegaard with the early goal there in 4 minutes. And an Athletic 1, Stirling Albion 0. Matty Douglas also in the 4th minute of that game. Let's then get to Stephen Craigan. He is at Celtic Park for us this afternoon. What's happening in the early stages, Stephen?
Well, first little half chance of the afternoon, Kenny. Came for Kilmarnock, overlap and run by Corey and Dava, played the ball eventually back into Mallory Kennedy, swung it into the box from Marley Watkins, a header comfortably saved by Joe Hart. But I've got to say, Derek McInnes has been very bold with this formation. I thought he might have went the back 3, 5 in midfield and 2 up top, but it looks like a 4-4-2, so a lot of work for Liam Donnelly and Liam Polworth in midfield. That just means the full-backs of Ndaba and Lewis Mayer are going to have to defend well against Maiden and against Palma, so lots of matchups all over the pitch. Celtic, as we know, when the game goes on, they will dictate possession, they will dominate possession. Once again, they're trying to feed those little slide rule passes between full-back and centre-half, but Kilmarnock have settled well, which is always a good sign from an away team at Celtic Park, but 0-0.
Stephen, what did you make of the comments from Brendan Rodgers last week? He's a very clever manager. He knows what he was doing. He was wanting to put this into the public domain about this narrative. He said in the media, all's not well at Celtic Football Club. What did you make of that?
It's called trying to galvanise people and trying to unite people, Kenny, and take the spotlight away from the actual problem, because Brendan's said an awful lot since he took over, hasn't he? And he's been critical of the board and he's been critical of signings. I have to say, Celtic's results, when you look at the likes of Jota missing from last season, Cameron Carter-Vickers not playing as many minutes, Abada, of course, you know his issues, Carl Starfelt, Ray Hotati hasn't played as many minutes, Kyogo's not scored, but you take away his supply, he's not going to get the same level of performance, the same level of pass to him. So Brendan's a clever man. He hasn't been on management for the last 15 years for no reason, so I wouldn't read too much into it.
You've had a look, Tom? Look at that, Michael. Yeah, you can see how it was trending.
I can see how it was trending. Yeah, all I would say is let those without sin cast the first stone.
Yeah, fair point. It was a cracking game. That's the main point last night. The Championship always delivers on BBC Radio Scotland. Let's then get to Pittodrie. Aberdeen against Hibs. What's happening in the early stages, Willie?
7 minutes gone and nothing's happening, Kenny, I'm afraid to say. Two very talented teams out there. Very slow build-up from Hibs. Obviously, that's the way the manager wants to play. There's been no goal-mouth action whatsoever. It's a packed house here at Pittodrie as well. It's just waiting for something exciting, something to happen, maybe a goal or two. But the way both teams are playing at this moment, that might be quite a way off.
Almost an own goal at Tynecastle.
Yes, Alan.
It was McGinn with a header, a really good save by Kelly, tipping over the bar.
Nearly a goal for Falkirk as well, Kenny. Calvin Miller, former Celtic youngster, picked up the ball 25 yards out. His drive took a looping deflection off one of the Hamilton Accies defenders, and what a brilliant save by Jamie Smith. He tipped it up onto the junction of crossbar and post to keep it out, so still 0-0 Falkirk Accies.
Tom, just come back to that game at Pittodrie. Where are you in terms of Nick Montgomery? Is the jury still very much out on the job that he is doing there?
Well, I think that the jury is beginning to come back in. I think he needs results. He needs victories. Was it lost 5, drew 2 of his last 7 league games? No wins in 7. The man needs some victories, and he needs them pretty quickly. Now, I know Hibs will be kind of reluctant to go through another manager because they've burnt their way through quite a few of late. But he has to give them a reason to stick with him, and at the moment he's unimpressive.
But perhaps, Alan, there's a lesson to be learned across the city there, because a few weeks ago we had Hearts fans in this programme who watched Stephen Naismith out of the club. They weren't happy, but my goodness, he's turned things around, Alan. What do you put that down to?
Lawrence Shanklin. You know, he's scoring goals. You've got a goal scorer, you win games. It's as simple as that. But equally, Lawrence has to be in a team. He scored goals last year and they capitulated. You didn't finish third that they should have done, and they'll be hoping this year they can see it through and finish third.
Steady with statements like that.
I can't hear because this is sold out here at Tynecastle for
we're
Ladies'
sold out
Day.
here as well.
But you didn't get that a lot, Willie. We get that every week.
Should be used to it then.
Alan, also
Exactly.
I think the likes of Craig Gordon and Craig Halkett even coming back into the squad, just boosting numbers, strength and depth, having that leadership quality just drives the team on. Plus changing from a back three to a back four. Has that helped in any way?
It can do. He was at a 4 last week, and the cup tie goes back to a 3. You're right, I think getting these players back, and I said it earlier, Stephen, I think even if he doesn't play for Hearts this season, I think Steve Clark should take Craig Gordon to the Euros just for his experience and having him around the squad. I really do, and I sincerely hope he does, because Zander Clark doesn't deserve to be dropped, but I'd love to see Craig Gordon in that Scotland squad, even as a third choice.
Alan, why is he's gone with a 3 today? Why is he gone from a 4 to a 3, do you think?
Well, if you're being brutally honest, I think Lembasika is more of a wing back than a full back. Defensively you can get at him, but I think he's a wing back, so he plays to his strengths, and on the other side Cochrane can do both, so it gives him a bit of stability. What it does do, it's a bit awkward because you've got Kingsley playing right centre half off the 3 or right side of the 3, and he's always gone into his left foot, as everybody knows, so there's not a natural balance to it, but that's the one that got them results early on in the season, so he's sticking back to it as well.
Right, let's get to Dens Park. Dundee up against Ross County. What's happening there, Rory?
It's been a really good start, Kenny. Lively from both sides. Ross County looked bang at it. Brophy and Brophy and Murray linking up really well at times. Simon Murray's got a lot of confidence from that goal midweek. His touch has been good. Brophy fired over after just 4 minutes, and just before that, really good play by Luke McCowan in the middle of the pitch. He squared the ball to Lyle Cameron. His shot deflected just wide, so really enjoying what I'm seeing so far from both sides, and hopefully more of that to come, but it's still 0-0.
Goal in the Championship, Airdrie 0, Ayr United 1. Anton Dowd with that goal there on 9 minutes. Let's then get to Almondvale. Livingston against St Mirren. What's happening, Derek?
Yeah, it's been fast and furious, the start. There's a little chance here. St Mirren have now started to get the ball down and play a little bit. You could see they're just trying to match. It's going to be a really physical game. You know, early doors, Kenny, the ball was just getting whacked back to front, but thankfully now, and it's on a slick surface, the heavens have opened, so you know it's a surface you can get the ball down and start playing it about, you know, start pinging it about, and St Mirren have started to do that, certainly down the left hand side with a couple of dangerous crosses into the box, and with Mandron and Scott in there, they've got a bit of aerial power, so they're just starting to find their way. There's another
Martin Boyle round the goalkeeper. It's 1-0. Martin Boyle down the right hand side. Lovely little slip in from Malida. He takes it round the goalkeeper and he buries it in the back of the net to give Hibs a lead.
I need to get a look at that again, Willie, but defensively, where are Aberdeen? Were they,
all over the place.
Is it a transition? Because left full-back posted missing.
It was, yes,
yep.
But also there was a bit of physicality. I think it was Gartenman with Malida, and Malida came out on top when it shouldn't really be happening. Lovely little slip into Boyle, and cool and calm. You know, took it towards the byline, then drilled it into the back of the net.
He likes that finish.
Well, he's didn't start playing to your 3 doing anyway, didn't he, Willie?
And I heard you, Alan Preston, saying box office in the background there.
The manager. We've got to keep it going, Kenny. You need to keep it going.
Kenny,
when
big
I
chance.
text Willie at 3-0 the other night, it wasn't a box office. I thought he was going to go home.
It was an incredible game. Yeah, big chance for you, Stephen.
Yeah, it's the first time Celtic have really linked up. Great ball into Adam Ida. Callum McGregor unusually makes that deep run from midfield. Ida plays it into his path. He breaks beyond the two Kilmarnock defenders, plays it wide to Palma, cuts inside on his right foot, and it's a big save from Will Dennis. Within another 10-15 seconds, Matt O'Reilly put one over the crossbar. So when Celtic link up and they get slickness in their play, they look a real handful.
It's being checked, though. It's being checked. The goal here at Pittodrie for possible offside. We wait and we wonder.
You're used to up there. Well, I know there was a bit of confusion last on Wednesday night. A lot of ex-Aberdeen players and pundits haven't been happy that Bojan Miovski was offside.
Name names,
night.
come on.
Well, I can name plenty. Liam McLeod even threw in last night in the Championship game. I thought, what's going on?
That's a goal. Goal. He's pointed to the
Well,
spot,
just to get back to the goal, Kelris's distribution is so poor. That's where the big issue comes from. The team are set up. I think it's McKenzie that's pushed on. Goalkeeper's got the ball at his feet and he shanks it into the middle of the pitch and they lose possession. They're turned over quickly. And when you've got pace like Martin Boyle's got and he's played in behind like that, he's so good at that type of finish as well.
Should Gartenman, though? Should Gartenman?
He was Gartman.
Muscled, yeah, but
he
again,
was. He was brushed off it. He was just brushed off it. He was very weak.
It's just not set, Tom, though, because the goalkeeper goes to go long.
No, that's where the problem started.
Yeah.
And Roos, Willie, the Aberdeen fans have been going on about Roos a lot this season.
Yes,
right?
they have. Yeah, he's not been at his best. He's away at the end of the season as well, Tom, so I think that makes it even worse as far as Aberdeen fans are concerned. Last season and for a good bit of this season, pretty reliable, but in recent times he's been culpable, that's for sure.
Stirling Albion have equalised with and an Athletic Kieran Offord on 12 minutes. Clyde have gone ahead against Dumbarton. They are badly in need of wins. Clyde, Martin Rennie with a goal on 12 minutes, and confirmation Martin Boyle with the opener for Hibs away at Aberdeen. That goal coming on 12 minutes.
Sorry,
on
you
go.
It's just the crowd. With it being a packed house, the crowd are making so much noise. Alan Preston, I'm finding it hard to hear the programme. Majowski! It's in! It's equaliser! Majowski straight, and Devlin following up after Marshall could only palm it into his path. The equaliser very quickly for Aberdeen.
Go Falkirk.
Yeah, take away, Kenny.
It's Calvin Miller, the man who hit the post and bar a few minutes ago. The ball broke him on the edge of the box from Brad Spencer's cutback, and he's lashed it into the top left-hand corner. Brilliant strike. Falkirk 1, Hamilton Accies 0.
So the goals are flying in. Also 4 for 1. Peter Hicknell.
Play by Eamon Brophy.
Yep.
Really, really good. Him and Simon Murray have been excellent so far, as is Jan Danda.
Say Majowski.
Brophy cuts in, chops Shaughnessy and ties him in knots, and has a good shot, but the keeper's equal to it. Still 0-0.
Possible offside.
I think it's Devlin that gets the final cut. Yeah. Majowski hit.
Game, Wally.
Say that again.
Devlin gets a goal.
That's what I said, Devlin.
I said Majowski.
Majowski hits the initial shot.
I said Majowski struck it. Marshall palmed it out. Devlin following up. Put it in the back of the net.
Majowski's onside. Yeah, I think the goal should be good, Willie. Just getting a look at the initial ball over the top that Majowski takes in the volley, just as it drops out there, but he's onside. Devlin knocks home the rebound.
Okay, good goal.
So just confirmation, 4 for 1, Peter Hicknell, Russell McLean on 13 minutes. Falkirk 1, as Kenny was telling us. Hamilton Accies 0, Callum Morrison on 15 minutes. And just waiting. So confirmation come through yet for that equal? Still waiting.
Goal given.
Goal given. Thanks, Willie. So 1 apiece there. What a start up at Pittodrie. Aberdeen 1, Hibs 1. Let's get back into the Championship. Let's get to East End Park. Dunfermline against Arbroath. What's happening there, Kasim?
Hi Kenny, not much to report here. Sounds a bit more exciting now. Other game, very quiet start here. Arbroath, if any of the sides have looked more threatening, a couple of times they've had a chance to go through and goal, but nothing, no real shots on target as yet. So I will keep you updated, but as things stand, 0-0.
John Robertson, Inverness, Cally Thistle against Partick Thistle. Anyone on top there?
Yeah, the home side were on top there. The Partick had a couple of corners early doors, and both teams are using the same tactic. They're crowding the goalie. Mark Ridgers had to be lively, knock a couple away, but since that moment Inverness have complete control. They've done the same thing. A McAllister's corner right on top of Stead and came off the face of the bar. Another one was headed off the line straight from the corner, but against all that, Partick Thistle broke away and created the first chance. Brian Graham got played in. His shot brilliantly saved by Mark Ridgers. So it's a lively old game here. Still 0-0.
Kenny, I'm getting stick off a couple of gentlemen in front of me at Dens Park for reporting on the Ross County chance but not the Dundee chance. So just to let you know, Dara Costello had a shot which nearly hit the corner flag.
You've got to be big enough to take it though.
Don't take the bait.
It's when they start throwing pies at you.
Yeah, some of these positions are very, very close to the fans. You've got to be very careful what you have to what you say there.
It's just how bad the shot was. That should make me laugh.
Just clonk him over the head with your mic.
Tom, just on a more serious note, we didn't really have much time to talk about what Brendan Rodgers said about Leila Bada. What's your reaction to that? It's a very, very difficult and complex situation, isn't it?
It is. It's very sad. Brendan Rodgers in his stuff yesterday, he spoke very powerfully about Bada. He said, I've got sons older than Leo, so I see him as a son. But then he kind of goes into this riff about,
Ball at East End Park.
Yes, Kasim.
Free kick just inside the Arbroath half, sent in from into the box, and a very good header by Walcott in the box to put Dunfermline 1-0 up against Arbroath.
That's a big goal, because that's a bottom of the table clash in the Championship.
So chance for Hearts. Lynn Basika, great cross to the back post. I don't know why Shanklin doesn't header it. He tries to bring it down, miscontrols it. Looks like he's hit his hand or his arm anyway. Chance is gone, but a real chance here for someone in form.
Derek, was it?
Yeah, it was a big chance. It's just a back post. Not sure it was just. Thought Nubelu was going to get on the end of it. I think it was Shinnie there just coming into the back post area. It's the first time that Livingston have been up the park. You know, I've seen this before, Kenny. They just look devoid of confidence. Obviously not winning in 17 games. You look damaged goods, but that was a good moment there, just down the right-hand side. Wicked ball in. Thought Nubelu was going to get in on the end of it, but it was Shinnie just at the far post, back post, a header down off the post, and somehow the keeper just scrambles it away.
What an effort!
Yes, Al.
Dan Casey's deflected. It must be, I would say, 40 yards out. He smashes it. I'm sure it takes a deflection. The keeper's back in his line, tips it over the bar.
Wow, that was some effort, wasn't it?
It's audacious, to say the least. Drops out there, twice the distance from the one that we seen in the Championship last night.
Getting a good replay.
I think it might take a nick, Alan, you're right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Clark does well to just tip it over in the end.
To go back to Brendan Rodgers on Abada, he said yesterday people will talk about banners, and there is one today again at the Green Brigade, and what is going on, and I'm 100% sure there will be some people who won't know where Israel or Palestine is on the map, but will be telling him what to do with his life. They won't have a clue. Now, that's very pointed, you know. Like, I don't think the Green Brigade, and I'm no fan of the Green Brigade, as listeners of this programme will know, but the Green Brigade aren't telling Abada what to do with his life, as far as I can see. It's much bigger than Abada, it's much bigger than Celtic, it's much bigger than SPFL or football. It's in their eyes, it's about life, or more accurately, death in Palestine. It's a stance, you know. And, you know, saying some people wouldn't know Israel or Palestine on the map it's possibly not accurate, and I don't think it's fair. Green Brigade are making a point that's much bigger than football, but by making that point they are making life very difficult for one of their own players, and I'd imagine they'd say that it's a price worth paying for showing support for Palestine.
And you can hear just how difficult it was with Brendan Rodgers' answers today with Kennedy. He did not want to go there, and you can understand why.
It's very, very difficult. Very difficult. Leo Abad is getting pressure. Let's say we only know a fraction of it. He's getting pressure from international teammates, international manager, and Lord knows who else to get out of Celtic, because they see the images, and they'll see the images today of his club and the banners from the Green Brigade, and they'll say, get out of there. What are you doing there? It's such a difficult position for Leo Abada. He's 22 years of age. He's been terrific for Celtic. 28 goals, 20 assists in 2 seasons, won all sorts of trophies, would have all sorts of sell-on value, you know. But I don't think he's got any option. I think he needs to leave. Daily Mail, Stephen McGowan reporting this morning that the MLS clubs are circling. I think it'd be best for all concerned that if he does leave on loan or permanently. But it is a desperately sad situation. It's a football issue, but at the heart of this, it's Leo Abada, and his life has been turned on its head.
Stennismuir, League Two leaders, have got a goal up with Elgin City. Nat Wedderburn on 70 minutes, just confirmation of that big goal for Dunfermline. Malachi Fagan Walcott with it on 80 minutes. Dunfermline 1, Arbroath 0, and that is you right up to date with all the latest scores.
Nearly another goal for Falkirk, and is it another goal? Yes, it is another goal. Ross McKeever, Aidan Nesbitt's initial shot was parried by Jamie Smith, and Ross McKeever followed up to add to Callum Morrison's goal, and it is now Falkirk 2, Hamilton Accies 0.
Yeah, they are romping away with that League One title. Hamilton Accies, they're all but guaranteed their place in the playoffs, and it's very, very tight. Montrose, Alloa, Cove Rangers, so plenty to play for in that league, apart from, of course, Elgin City. They are 15 points adrift at the bottom of the table. So that is you up to date with the latest in League One. I'll actually just give you all the latest scores across Scotland. We had a bit of a goal flurry there. So Aberdeen 1, Hibs 1. Martin Boyle with the opener in 12 minutes. Nicky Devlin with the equaliser on 15. Celtic 0, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0, Ross County 0, Hearts 0, Motherwell 0, and Livingston 0, St Mirren 0. In the Championship, Airdrie 0, Ayr United 1. Anton Dowds with a goal on 9 minutes. Dunfermline 1, Arbroath 0. Malachi Fagan Walcott on 18 minutes. Inverness Cally Thistle 0. Partick Thistle 0. Queen's Park 0, Morton 0. In League 1, Alloa 0, Cove Rangers 0, Annan Athletic 1, Stirling Albion 1, Edinburgh City 0, Queen of the South 0, Falkirk 2, Hamilton Accies 0, and Montrose have just scored a second goal in their game against Kelty Hearts. The opener came in the first minute. And in League 2 this afternoon, we can tell you Bonnyrigg Rose 0, East Fife 0, Clyde 1, Dumbarton 0, Elgin City 0, the leader Stenhousemuir 1, Forfar 1, Peterhead 0, Stranraer 0, Spartans 0. And in England, the lunchtime kickoff finish: Brentford 1, Liverpool 4. It's Burnley 0, Arsenal 1, Fulham 0, Aston Villa 1, Newcastle United 0, Bournemouth 0, Nottingham Forest 0, West Ham United 0, Tottenham 0, Wolves 0. 5:30 start, Manchester City at home to Chelsea. Let's then get to our commentary match this afternoon. Celtic against Kilmarnock. What's happening?
Yep. Absolute shocker here at Tynecastle, and you'll see it, Leanne. Lawrence Shanklin goes in for a challenge. He wins the ball. He's on the ground. He wins the ball. He doesn't catch Jack Vale. It's never a yellow card, but the referee gives a yellow card, which, Kenny, once you've been to Parquet, should lead you onto the VAR shambles that we've got in this country.
Yeah, we'll certainly get to that, no doubt at all about it.
Just had one look at it. I'll need to get another replay. Alan, I seen the one that you're talking about. Shanklin just takes a kind of heavy touch, but it looks to me like he's won the ball. Jack Vale's reaction would probably indicate that there's been a bit more contact. Just seeing it now, Shanklin's outstretched, stabs it with the toe. Never a foul, never a yellow card. Spot on.
Never?
No, never.
Ollie Watkins with that goal for Aston Villa in the 23rd minute. Fulham 0, Aston Villa 1. Confirmation, as Kenny was telling us, just coming through. Ross McKeever with the second goal for Falkirk. They are 2-0 up at home to Hamilton Accies. Also confirmation of the second goal for Montrose. They are 2-0 up against Kelty Hearts. Andrew Steeves with that goal on 25 minutes. So let's get around the grounds and we'll have that chat about VAR. So let's get to Stephen Craig in Celtic Park. Stephen.
And I've got to say, this is an intriguing game, a real tactical battle just to Celtic swing the ball in the right hand side, because Kilmarnock at times when they haven't got the ball, they're quite happy to come off and absorb the pressure.
3-0 Falkirk. It's Calvin Miller this time. I thought it was him with the first goal. It was actually Callum Morrison, but this time Calvin Miller has definitely got on the score sheet. Cross from Morrison, and Calvin Miller, not a tall player, but got his head on it into the bottom left-hand corner. Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 0.
Dundee really growing into this game, Kenny. Wonderful ball into the box by Loney Owen Beck, and it was met at the back post by the smallest man on the pitch, Lyle Cameron, I think it was. It went all the way across goal, but Wickens was level to it and tipped it over the bar. Dundee been really good in the last 10 minutes or so, but Ross County's still a threat on the counter.
Yes, Romo.
1-0 Inverness. They broke away. Brilliant play down the left from McAllister. Partick Thistle came across. They didn't notice the run of Cammy Kerr on the right flank. A big switch foul. Kerr took one touch, 16 yards out, drilled it low past in. Inverness 1, Partick Thistle 0.
Yeah, it's a big goal there in the Highlands, no doubt at all about that. Inverness, Cally Thistle. Duncan Ferguson was actually asked last week, is he looking above or below? He said, look, my job is to keep this club in the Championship. That's a great start for them in their home match against Partick Thistle. Let's then get back to yourself, Stephen Craigan at Celtic Park.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Kilmarnock really well structured. Out of possession, they're quite happy to sit off and absorb pressure, but when they go and press, they're leaving Joe Hart on the ball and they're going man for man all over the pitch. So yes, the big long ball over the top was on, but it's far too far for Joe Hart to kick it. So Derek McInnes has really thought about his tactics and his shape all week long. Kyle Vassell and Marley Watkins are actually having a split shift on Callum McGregor. They're taking turns, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, because they know he's pivotal for them. Actually, it was Matty Kennedy just went through there, got the ball over the top of Joe Hart, but it just went wide. But Kilmarnock really are full value so far for this 0-0 draw. They've really taken part in the game. An excellent watch.
Cammy Ballantyne has got an equaliser for Ayr at home to Ayr United. That one is one apiece. Just confirmation coming through. Cammy Kerr with that opening goal for Inverness. Cally Thistle 1, Partick Thistle 0. The goal coming on 27 minutes. Let's then get back to Pittodrie. A blistering start up there, Willie Miller. What's happening now?
Kenny, but it was rather slow. Excuse me, the first 7 minutes or so, but it has burst into life. It's such an open game that you know, it's such a kind of a long game where the defenders are not really pushing up at all. and there's plenty of room in the midfield to pick up the ball. And as Majovski's put through, it's 1v1. Is he going to get in front? Little touch. Oh, it's a great save from David Marshall coming out, very quickly off his line to take that one away from the feet of Majovski. I think if it had another stride in it, he would have just clipped it over the top of the goalkeeper. But it's went end to end. Predominantly Aberdeen, I would say, at this moment in time. But Hibs are very dangerous on the break, and plenty of space to be taken advantage of from both sides, because it looks as though both managers don't give a jot about defending.
That's what we like to hear. Elgin City have equalised at home to Stenhousemuir. Russell Dingwall from the penalty spot on 27 minutes. That game is level at 1 apiece. Let's then get to Tynecastle. What's happening, Alan?
It's an even game. Motherwell are playing their part, a good side. Motherwell, just looking at them here, they've got a sold out their end as well. They've had that chance. Dan Casey, 40 yards, good save. Van der Park, Hearts have had a McGinn header almost put in his own net. Really good save by Liam Kelly. But Kenny, honestly, I can't tell you how bad that decision is by the referee Chris Graham. He puts Shanklin under immense pressure now. He's got a long way to go on a yellow card. It's horrendous, a decision like that. And I'm sitting 60, 70 yards and I can see it. He can't see it 5 yards away. It's a shocker.
Stephen Craigan, I'd like to get your thoughts just on what happened at Pittodrie midweek. How on earth does Stuart Kettlewell analyse that game when he's going through it with the players? How does he have to balance that?
Kenny, you've heard me many times in the programme throughout the season that Motherwell cannot defend cross balls or set plays. And every time the ball went into the box, even though we're winning 3-0, every time the ball went into the box, I thought to myself, Aberdeen's going to score. It was just real uncertainty, whether it's Liam Kelly coming off his line, whether it's the central defenders not trusting the goalkeeper not trusting central defenders. I can't believe that Stephen Naismith wouldn't tell his players anything but this afternoon. Cross the ball. The minute you lift your head, if there's a crossing opportunity, put it in there, because there's a real naivety amongst that back line. But at 3-0 up, I have to say, I still wasn't convinced. I was watching the game thinking, I don't still think Motherwell are going to win this.
That's incredible.
We've got a check here at Pittodrie for a possible penalty to Hibs.
Right.
Nicky Devlin, I'm sure it was. He's made a movement towards the ball with his shoulder. It just depends. I don't know if Leanne
just getting a look at it now, Willie.
He's definitely made a movement towards, and it's at the top part of his arm.
Yeah.
It's a decision. Was it low enough for it to be a penalty?
Only getting one angle. His arm looked as if it was tucked in to me. I don't know if Tom, if you get a look at it then, if it comes off anything, it's the top part of the arm, and I don't think it's making the body unnaturally bigger. Would be my first instinct.
Yeah,
he's not. I don't think he's made it unnaturally bigger.
It might be Leanne, but I could be wrong.
Let's have another.
Say that again, Willie.
You're correct.
Yeah.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Right.
No penalty.
No penalty. Check over there. So let's get round the grounds. Let's get to Dens Park. Rory Loy is there for us. Dundee against Ross County. Rory.
Yeah, it's been a good game.
Goal Ackies.
Yeah,
he might be back in it. Sorry, Rory. It's Akeem Rose. His first start for Ackies. He's rounded goalkeeper Nicky Hogarth and put one into the far corner to make it Falkirk 3, Hamilton Ackies 1.
What a game that is. What about yourself? No sign of a goal there, Rory?
No real signs of a goal. There's been some half chances for both sides. As I said, Brophy had that shot straight at Trevor Carson earlier on in the game, but Dundee in the last 10-15 minutes have really got to grips with the game. Luke McCown and Mo Silla in midfield have been really, really good. Luke McCown's touch, his awareness, his intelligence, he's so good. And then you've got Cameron next to him, and Mo Silla just mops up everything in behind. So Dundee the better side, especially over the last 10-15 minutes, but difficult to tell which way this game's going to swing. But it's still 0-0 at the moment, Kenny.
Any improvement, Derek, from the home side at Ammanvale?
Not really, Kenny.
No.
It's a bit brutal at times, I've got to be honest with you. The thing is, I think that both teams have got good players, so maybe a little bit braver on the ball at times, just you see when they're under a little bit of pressure, there's one thing in their mind, just get it forward as quick as, and I think there's times when they can just take another touch and play a pass, but that comes with pressure and that comes with lack of confidence, and I'm talking about Livy at the moment.
Celtic Park! And you can probably tell by the noise, it's a home side that have got it. A really congested 18-yard box. Tony Ralston stands a lovely little ball up in this right-hand side to the back post. Kyogo's standing free, just heads the ball back to where it came from, past Will Dennis, and Celtic Park erupts. They've been patient, they've been probing, they've eventually got the breakthrough. Of course it'll go to VAR, but if it stands, it'll be Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Yeah, in first viewing, Craigs, it looks good. Looks a good goal. Nice delivery, flighted to the back post. Kyogo, as you say, unmarked. Probably the first lapse in concentration, you could say, from Kilmarnock. Have been across the game. Your updates have been spot
because
on.
he's playing as the second striker or the number 10.
Yeah.
Everyone else is man for man, and because Kyogo isn't the centre forward, he's able to drift in from deep, unopposed. Midfield players caught watching the ball, caught watching what's going on, and he just slides around the back post, and it's a wonderful header. From what I'm hearing, clearly onside, so it'll be 1-0 to the champions.
Yeah, Joe Wright's playing him well on side. He actually deepens off between the two strikers. He doesn't pick either of them up. Plays him on side, doesn't get contact. Good goal from myself.
Lovely ball from Ralston. And according to the stats I have here in front of me, that is Kyogo's first touch in the box in 20. What was a minute of the goal? 32, 33 minutes.
It was a beautiful header, wasn't it?
Lovely header.
Matters, Tom. You only need one touch.
Absolutely, amazing. One touch, one goal. You'd take that from any team, wouldn't you?
Of course you would.
Bonnyrigg Rose 0, East Fife 1. Brian Easton with the opening goal there on 32 minutes, and that goal coming through 32 minutes also at Celtic Park. Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 0, a header from Kyogo. Let's get back into the Championship. A good start for the home side at East End Park. Kasim, what's happening now?
Yeah, the goal kind of sprung Dunfermline into action. Literally 2 minutes after they scored, Michael O'Halloran found himself through on goal. The goalkeeper practically lost his footing and slipped, and he had an open goal, and he himself slipped and missed a chance, and the fans were not happy at East End Park. Should really have been 2-0 to Dunfermline, but as things stand, still 1-0 to the home team of Dunfermline against Arbroath.
Also a good start for the home side in Inverness, John Robertson.
Yeah, it certainly is. As I said, Partick Thistle have only been up park 2 or 3 times, but they have caused problems. I said Brian Graham, and then just before the goal, a wonderful ball that fizzed across the goal that Graham and Lawless couldn't get onto. But Inverness have been the better side, they've been the hungrier side, they've been snapping at the tackle, some good interplay. They've got the goal, as I said, that whole of the Partick Thistle defence got pulled to the left. Brilliant run from Cammy Kerr, brilliant finish.
What a save that is!
And then since then you've had Billy Mackay and Gilmore strike the ball just over the bar, so Inverness are on top. Thistle are certainly not out of it, and they are dangerous in the break, but Inverness deservedly lead here by 1-0.
Rory?
Ross County really should be one up in this game. Has a gilt-edged chance for Simon Murray. He just reacts with his head, to be fair. It's flashed across the face of goal. It was almost like a bicycle kick from, I think it was defender Effetti, who hit it across goal, and Simon Murray, any side of the goalkeeper, it's in because of the pace on it. So Dundee being the better side, but Ross County should really be in front, but it's still 0-0.
You've got a fantastic game so far. Kenny Crawford, Falkirk against Hamilton Accies.
I'm just catching up on my notes in my notepad here, Kenny. I was stuck on 1-0 for ages, and I've finally had a couple of minutes to write down who scored the rest of the goals. But yeah, 3-1 to Falkirk. Absolutely brilliant display for them for the first half hour. But this goal from Akeem Rose, it's just put a little bit of doubt back into Falkirk, the Bairns. A lot of the Hamilton Accies fans had left when it went 3-0, and I wonder if any of them are trying to stream their way back into the stadium, whether they'll be allowed to come back in after Rose has got his first goal for the club. But yeah, brilliant game, brilliant atmosphere with 5,500 people here.
Right, Alan was asking us to discuss the latest figures, Tom, we had on VAR. So there was a presentation at Hampden on Thursday. We heard from head of referees Crawford Allen. He spoke with the BBC. What did you take from the figures that were released?
I took the fact that it was 3 hours, now 13, so that's not great. I also
off the bar for Aberdeen. Lee Clarkson it was, Majowski down the right hand side, cuts it back to Clarkson, just round about the penalty spot. He slides in, he doesn't know too much about it, he's just trying to guide it into the top corner, and it comes off the bar. Still 1-1.
Crawford Allen, I don't want to be beaten up in Crawford Allen, far from it, but he said, why would we want to get rid of something that factually improves decision making? He was asked, is VAR here to stay? Well, there's a lot of reasons why you might want to get rid of it, and a lot of the fans out there would say, deterioration of the matchday experience, ongoing errors, rising errors, time delays. Like, as I said, Kenny, I haven't changed my position on this. I was VAR, now I'm against VAR, have been for a while. The improvement in accuracy and decision making in no way, for me, compensates for what VAR has taken from the game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Tom. I'm the same.
There's a chance, Miller with a clean through. Oh, he's got to score. What a chance for Lennon Miller. He's 18 yards out, he's just got clapped to beat, and he knocks it wide, doesn't even hit the target. What a chance.
Could he have taken another couple of yards? Allen get himself at least inside the box yet.
Hits it too early.
That's a good bit of play from Motherwell, right enough. Brilliant. Great run from Miller. Does really, really well. He takes a shot just outside the box. just doesn't back himself to have the pace to get that extra yard.
Stephen, I'm just seeing some of the Kelly players shouting. I heard you shouting there for a penalty. They're shouting for.
Yeah, it was across from the left-hand side from Daniel Armstrong, and Marley Watkins, I'm not too sure who he was challenging. It could have been Stephen Welsh. He thinks he's got first touch on the ball, and he's been caught by Stephen Welsh, and Marley Watkins just went down. So I'm not too sure if it will go to VAR, whether there's a delay as yet. Kilmarnock almost equalised about a minute before that. Outswinging corner from Armstrong. Liam Donnelly met it, and a smart save from Joe Hart kept it 1-0 to Celtic. But I don't know if Leanne can have a look to see if there is a.
Right, here we go now.
Just seeing it just now. It doesn't look too clever, I would need to say.
Did not win the ball?
Not convinced.
I think he wins the ball there.
Think so? Coming through behind the player?
I think he does. I think he gets on
Need
the
a
ball.
better angle, yeah. Perhaps he won behind the goal. We'll come back to you, Crabs, if we get a better angle on it.
Keep you updated on that one.
I think play's about to restart, so John Beaton really hasn't been told
Nothing to be
anything.
looked
So
at.
no, it's no penalty.
Yeah, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, East Fife 2. Alan Troughton with the second goal for East Fife. Forfar 2, Peterhead 0. Stuart Morrison on 37 minutes. Elgin City 2, Stenhousemuir 1. They've come from behind. Brian Cameron on 37 minutes. Stranraer 1-0 up at home to Spartans. Tamor on 37 minutes. Alan, you sent me through some interesting stuff, some fan reaction in terms of our fans have right now had enough.
I think that, honestly, if Scottish football, if they were to say it, we're binning VAR, I think it would be roundly applauded.
Oh,
yes, Derek.
Goodness gracious, what a chance for St Mirren. And it's Scott's a terrific drive. I think it's Tangier, middle of the park. Too hot for the keeper. You know, he spills it and it comes out, and Scott, he just bounces up. I think if he just keeps it down, just tries to hit the ball into the deck, it's into the back of the net. And again, it's one of them, he's rubbing his head. He knows he should have buried it, but that's a glorious chance for St Mirren.
Oh, it's a big chance, Derek, isn't it?
Glorious.
Yeah, Kenny, I'm speaking to a fan who's a corporate season ticket holder, and him and his 5 mates are binning it at the end of the season. They say, "I've had enough." You know, VAR is putting people off coming to football, not adding to the numbers, I'm afraid. It's hammering our game, and it's not great at all. And he's just said, I work hard all week, and the last thing I wanted to see after my team scored a goal, a referee standing with his hand to his ear for 4 or 5 minutes. We've not got a clue what's going on. You're better advised if you're watching it in the house on the telly, because they get told. We haven't got a clue as a paying public. It's a shambles.
Yeah, Kenny, there's Stevie Robertson saying, you know, 120 grand they pay for it. Yep. So he would rather, you know, use it to bring in a couple of players. And listen, I tend to agree. I've never liked VAR. I've said from day dot, I just don't like it. You know, and you see some fantastic goals, you know, being chopped off because their fingernail was offside. So it wastes it for me in the start. You don't know if it's a goal. Just what the guys are explaining there.
What you said resonates with me in terms of I was very for VAR at the start, and then there was a period where it wasn't particularly enjoyable, and you think, right, we'll give them an opportunity to fix it. It could be better, should be better, but it's just not getting any. Chance for Dundee, it's deflected into the goalkeeper's hands. They had a chance to make it better. It's just not getting. And I was at Partick Thistle Livingston last week. No VAR, 3-2. Don't get me wrong, you're not guaranteed thrillers when VAR's not involved, but my goodness, just, you know, the flow of the game, the celebrations at the end, there's no checks. You know, the game previous to that, which I enjoyed the most, was probably Dunfermline and Inverness, where Dunfermline hit the bar 7-8 times. These passages of play get stopped. There's no flow to the game. No one really understands what's going on. So I'm exactly the same as Tom. I'm at the point now where I would actively say that I'm against VAR and would like it to go.
You know, some clubs are paying money that they can't really
just
afford.
To talk about the point, Tom, sorry, we've got a VAR check here.
Right.
The crowd haven't got a clue what's going on. The referee stopped the game. It's now going on. We're continuing. But they don't tell you why is it stopped.
Do you know why it stopped, Alan? What is
I think it's
decision?
A potential handball in the box. But that's me.
I'm just seeing pictures of the referee, so I hadn't seen the clip beforehand.
So, yeah, just to pick up, and some clubs are paying money that they can't really afford on something that their supporters don't really want. I mean, what other business would say, we're going to spend a lot of money that we can't really afford to give our customers something that they don't really want?
Can I counter that? Because a fantastic game in the Championship last night was just free-flowing, but there are arguments, actually, that first goal wouldn't have stood. You know, that the wrong decision was reached there. Do we care about that?
I tell you what, when it comes end of the season, if there's a huge decision like that, if you go back to that goal last night, or you look at the title race, Celtic Rangers level on points, it's going to come down to goal difference possibly, it's going to come down to a point either way. So would people would fans not want VAR at that point then if it becomes
Kenny,
that
see the point
defining
you're
moment?
making, that's sport, and see if that happens, then it's a much more enjoyable discussion, debate, conversation with regards to did he get it right, did he get it wrong. The whole VAR and the process and all that, it's mind-numbing. It's not, people used to enjoy discussing and debating incidents, and whilst that'll never go away to an extent, it's much more enjoyable than talking about delays in the game and this was the process, this is how it was reached.
Rory, see the guts of it is the clubs voted for it.
Yeah.
So you can't blame the SFA, you can't blame the referees. The clubs voted for it.
I agree with you, Craigs, and I was all for it. I was all for it when they initially voted for it.
Correct.
But I think now it's happened. I think the worrying concern is if it did go away in Scotland, we would massively fall behind the rest of the footballing world.
So listen to Crawford Allen's comments the other day. It's certainly not going away. So whether we like it, whether we don't, or whether we agree with it,
the issue is it's getting worse. That's the issue.
The thing
is it VAR that's getting worse, or is it the officiating?
The officiating, it's still subjective, still making same subjective errors that they've made before VAR, when the game was, in inverted commas, free flowing. Like maybe I don't think it's going to go away. Although I would imagine some clubs were going, hang on, why are we spending 100 grand here that we don't have on this thing that we don't like? Maybe there's a compromise. Maybe you just tweak it. Give each manager two challenges per half or something like that.
They can vote to if they voted to get it in, they can vote to get it out.
They can
if they're not
really,
happy with it.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
So it's up to the clubs.
It is.
If
Everything is up to
they
the
don't
clubs.
want it.
It's not featured too much today. We'll spin around the ground. Just some goals.
Speak for yourself, Kenny.
That's true. That's true. Burnley 0.
Kenny, just to reiterate what you said about last night's game. Let's go to St Johnstone, where they've admitted they got that wrong looking at VAR. The Graham Carey goal, that could cost him relegation.
No, fair point. I think that's been the issue. The ones that have been referred, our pundits and the independent panel thought it was wrong, and also several incidents where they weren't actually even called over, where everyone believes that they should have been. So we'll come back to this.
Don't know the game.
Burnley 0, Arsenal 2. Arsenal 2. Bukayo Saka with the second goal there on 41 minutes. Alloa 1. Cove Rangers 0. Scott Taggart from the penalty spot on 42 minutes. Spurs have fallen behind at home to Wolves. Gomez with that goal on 42 minutes, and actually right up to date with the score. So let's get round the ground. Stephen, Celtic Park.
Yeah, and the game hasn't really changed since the goal. I felt as if once Celtic scored, the floodgates may open. Kilmarnock may gamble a little bit more, and they may have more of the ball, but it's still the same. Kilmarnock are still being brave. They're still trying to press. Celtic haven't really created an awful lot since then. Derek McInnes will be desperate to get out at half time, just a single goal behind, because I think there's definitely something for his team in there. When you look at Greg Stewart, you look at Kevin Van Veen, he's got options now to change it. Stay in the fight as long as you can at 1-0 and save it. Celtic, as always, are still pushing and still probing.
Willie Miller, what's happening at Pittodrie?
Sorry, Kenny. Baningime, who's had horrendous injuries at Hearts, he's just sat down. I think it's his left hamstring by the looks of it. No one near him, and he's just sat down, and this is horrendous for the guy. Really poor.
Yeah, sad sight there. Montrose 2, Celtic Hearts 0, half-time. Also half-time, and an Athletic 1, Stirling Albion 1. What's happening at Pittodrie, Willie?
Half-time, Caledonian Stadium 1-0.
It's really open, Kenny. Really open, attacking. I think full marks in terms of the entertainment value that the fans are getting, and it is a packed house here at Pittodrie this afternoon, making a lot of noise too. And the football's attractive. There's so much space to play it in, though. And
Tiffany's through! It's a goal for Dundee! It goes through the legs of Wickens, and I have to say, Ross County have looked pretty solid all afternoon. It's a good through ball, good first touch by Tiffany, takes it across the defender and slots it between the legs of Wickens. It's 1-0 Dundee.
That's quick play from Dundee, Rory, is it not?
Yeah, very
Talk
good.
about turning the ball over in the middle of the pitch. Forward pass, forward run, forward pass, forward run, and the finish is there. Really good goal.
Yeah,
quick fire.
On the balance of play, I would have to say it's probably just deserved.
And a very good chance that Dundee could finish in the top 6 come the split. We'll keep you posted on that. We'll go through the league table in a short while. So Dundee ahead there at home to Ross County. Celtic ahead at home to Kilmarnock. Aberdeen 1, Hibs 1. Alan, still no sign of a breakthrough in your game at Tynecastle.
No, but Motherwell had the better chances. The Casey shot. We also had a chance for Vale early on, and obviously the best one was to young Miller. Hearts have had one effort, which was a McGinn header against his own team, which was really well saved by Kelly. That's been about it. Hearts have had all the possession, but not really creating anything.
Stephen, 2 chances for Matt O'Reilly. They had a a volley inside about 8 yards, saved by Will Dennis. Back to him. He has a header and beats Dennis, and Corey and Dava hooks it off the line. I think we're deep into the 2 minutes of out of time.
Half time at East End Park. Dunfermline Athletic 1, Arbroath 0.
Thanks, Cassim. 4 for 3. Peterhead 0. That's now a half-time score. That goal coming in first half stoppage time. Let's
Kenny,
continue.
It's half time at the Falkirk Stadium as well. Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 1.
Thank you there to Kenny Crawford. Let's get to Almond Vale. Livingston against St Mirren. Any sign of a breakthrough, Derek? Hey there,
Half time, Kenny. 1-1 here at Pittodrie.
Thanks, Will. Maybe a problem in the line there with Derek. Half time's coming in. Yeah, on you go, Derek.
Kenny, yeah, no, we're into 4 minutes of added time now. I was just having a chat with somebody. It's just a real lack of quality in this game, Kenny. So the quicker that half time comes, the better the managers can get them and settle them down, because there's enough quality out there to produce a better game of football than we're getting at the moment. And the one big chance was obviously Scott, you know, and that sums up the game. You know, just keep the ball down, a little bit of technique, puts it well over from 6 yards out.
Half-time Celtic Park, Celtic 1, come on, no.
Half-time Tynecastle, 0-0.
Half-time Dens Park, 1-0 Dundee.
Thanks, guys. Also half-time Elgin City 2, Stennismuir 1, Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, Dunfermline 1, Arbroath 0, Bonnyrigg 0, East Fife 2, and also Clyde 1, Dumbarton 0. That has come through as a half-time scoreline. So we are just waiting, just one game still being played. Is at Almond Vale. Its goal is there, as Derek was telling us, a real lack of quality. We just wondered whether the home side would take a big boost from that cup comeback last weekend, but so far they've not really threatened. We did have that big chance, of course, for St Mirren in that game.
It's a big moment. I don't believe it. They've scored the goal. Oberlai has the strike. Keeper spills it. He's not happy with himself. And Yengi, he just gets himself in there. I tell you what, well, the game's needed something, because there has been a lack of quality, Kenny, but just takes a moment, you know. Ball, it's a corner kick, left hand side. St Mirren don't deal with it. Shot from Oberlai, spills it. Yengi into the back of the net. 1-0, Livy.
Yeah, big goal there. Huge celebrations. Very calm, you'd have to say. Just seen pictures of Davy Martindale on the touchline. Could this be the start of the fight back for Livy? He's done a terrific job there. They have been adrift, but they had that cup win coming from behind, that last gasp winner in extra time away at Partick Thistle. Just seeing now a replay of this. I don't know, some of the St Mirren players are claiming for a handball, Tom. We're just seeing a replay here.
That's the thing with VAR as well, Kenny, because any time a ball's in the box and they'll always complain about something, they'll look for something, and then it goes to VAR and they'll search for the kind of littlest of things, you know, to try and not give the goal. So I don't know. I just think there's coming together. It's a contact sport. Sometimes it's not been given anyway. So thankfully, Livy, well, not thankfully, I'm a neutral here, as you know, Kenny, but
yes,
yeah, we've got the goal. So Livy have got their goal, you know, and that's what we want to see. We want to see
Correct
goals.
Decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a short check there, to be fair to the officials. Half-time score, Spurs 0, Wolves 1, and Nottingham Forest have gone ahead at home to West Ham United. Big pressure, I think it's fair to say, on Davy Moyes. A lot of the fans not at all happy. I win you with a goal there in first half stoppage time. Just looking through the other half-times coming in on Sports. We'll have half-time reports, of course, from the games in the top flight. The two matches we're covering in the Championship, and also that big one. It's been a cracker in League One. Falkirk very much in control at home to Hamilton Accies. Just confirmation coming in now. Livingston 1, St Mirren 0. Yengi with that goal in 48 minutes, deep into first half stoppage time. The goal coming after a corner. Half time, Stranraer are 1-0 up in their game. Just finding that for you now. That's at home to Spartans. Some more half times coming in on Sportsound for you this afternoon, just as we await the the half-time whistle going there at Almond Vale. There's a full-time earlier in the English Premier League. Brentford 1, Liverpool 4. Half-time, Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, Fulham 0, Aston Villa 1. Still playing in the first half. Half-time, Newcastle United 0, Bournemouth 0, Nottingham Forest 1, West Ham United 0. That is now a half-time. And also the half-time whistle has gone. Spurs 0, Wolves 1. It's a 5:30 start. Manchester City at home to Chelsea. So still still playing there, Derek. That's a huge blow for these St Mirren fans.
Not anymore, Kenny.
There we
That's
go.
Kenny, half time. Livingston 1, St Mirren 0. Massive.
Thank you to Derek Ferguson there. So a big scoreline potentially on the cards. It could be a huge win for Livy as they look to close the gap on the teams above them. So all the half-time reports coming right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Let's then get round the grounds. We have the option this afternoon of commentary from Celtic Park. Celtic at home to Kilmarnock. Let's now hear from Pat Bonner and Thomas Duncan.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Cracking game. We thought it might be, two informed teams. Kilmarnock with just one defeat in 12 coming here to Celtic Park. Of course, beaten Celtic twice this season. They do trail at the break, though. It's Kyogo Furuhashi's goal that separates the sides on 32 minutes. And Celtic have played pretty well, and one of the most interesting aspects has been how Kyogo has been operating in that Euro with Adam Ida. They've combined well. He does look really good, strong, physical, holding off defenders and trying to bring others into the game. But Kyogo was the one who broke the deadlock. 32 minutes, a lovely little dinked ball to the back post by Anthony Ralston, and it was a lovely header from Kyogo just back across Will Dennis into the far corner. And that's the difference between the sides. Celtic have had further chances, the best of which actually were right at the death in first half stoppage time. Matt O'Reilly, it bounced in the box for him, he hooked it with a left foot, brilliant save from Will Dennis. The ball came back to O'Reilly and he headed it on target. It was going to creep into the net, but Corey Ndaba was on the line and cleared it, and that prevented Kilmarnock going in at the break 2 down. They've been really good, Kilmarnock. As you would expect, they're really good defensively, compact, but they've carried a bit of a threat as well, especially with crosses to the back post. They had one early which Armstrong headed into the arms of Hart, and the best of them was a set piece really well worked, which ended with Liam Donnelly running across the front post and nodding on target. We thought it was in, but Joe Hart made a terrific save, and they also had a penalty appeal as well. Derek McInnes was fuming when Stephen Welsh put a challenge in on Marley Watkins, who went down in the box. VAR checked it, and I think we've not seen replays, myself and Packy, that he must have got a toe on the ball, Stephen Welsh, because VAR checked it and moved on. So yeah, it's 1-0 Celtic at the break, Packy, but it's a really good contest as we expected.
Yeah, it is, and good tempo to the game from both sides, you've got to say. Kilmarnock obviously pushing from a defensive perspective, trying to get organised and keeping Celtic out. Celtic dominating the play, creating the better chances, probably deserve to be in the lead, but Kilmarnock, you always think that there's a goal threat in them, especially with those players up front. They've worked well down the left hand side. We haven't seen probably a lot from Daniel Armstrong on the other side yet, but there will be a moment in the game when he will come alive.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kenny, at half time here at Celtic Park, it's Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 0.
Thank you very much indeed to the guys there at Celtic Park. Let's then get to Pittodrie. Aberdeen at home to Hibs, and let's hear from Willie Miller.
Kenny's been a good first 45 minutes, and it's 1-1 at half time. It's been open, attractive, direct football, but direct in a good way. By that I mean, when a player gets the ball and he wants to make the pass, he's looking up, and it's always a forward pass that he's thinking about. So it's front foot football, and the fans here, Pittodrie, are certainly enjoying it. The goals came quite early. Martin Boyle with the first one. It was Roos with a poor clear out, and Melida wrestled with Garterman, got the better of him, slipped Boyle in. It was a tight angle as Roos came out, but the goalkeeper, I think, selling himself a little bit as Boyle just took it round him and slotted it home in 12 minutes to give them the lead. But it wasn't very long until Aberdeen were on level terms, and down the left hand side on this occasion, Majowski in with a really good strike at goal. Marshall equally good in terms of saving it, but could only parry it out, and there was Nicky Devlin following up to slide and put it into the back of the net. Since then, Mackenzie's had a good running shot and saved. Majowski's had a cutback for Clarkson coming from a deeper line midfield position, sliding in, gets a good touch on it. He's looking for the top corner. Unfortunate for him, it comes off the bar and out for a goal kick. Johan at the other end is the one that's been the real threat. A curling strike and a good save from Roos. And then another one, very tight angle down the left-hand side. He drills it towards the goalkeeper. Another very good save from Roos to keep it out. It's 1-1 at half-time, and I think that scoreline is just about fair.
Thank you to Willie Miller there at Pittodrie. Let's then get to Tynecastle. Hearts at home to Motherwell, watched by Alan Preston.
Well, it's 0-0 at half-time, Kenny, and Motherwell had the better of the chances. Hearts had more possession. Jack Vale had an effort in 3 minutes. His right-hand side, he flashes the ball across, no takers for Motherwell. Hearts' only chance came in 6 minutes, and it came from McGinn, who's trying to clear the header. It actually heads it back into his own area, and it's a wonderful save by Kelly to keep his defender from scoring an own goal. Then Dan Casey hit a 40-yarder, slight deflection, well saved by Clark, backtracking onto his line. But the best chance fell in 37 minutes to Lennon Miller. It was lovely play by Motherwell. They cut up in the Hearts defence. He was clean through, should have taken an extra touch, elected to hit early and hits it wide. Half-time score, Hearts 0, Motherwell 0.
Thank you to Alan Preston there at Tynecastle. Let's get to Dens Park. Dundee at home to Ross County, and hear from Rory Loy.
Yeah, it's 1-0 to the home side. Dundee on the 45-minute mark came the goal, but after just 3 minutes, really good play by Luke McCowan, who skipped past a couple of players, squared the ball to Lyle Cameron. His shot just from the edge of the box was deflected wide, straight up the other end, and a good pass by Danda found Murray, who in turn found Brophy, and his shot from 20 yards flew over the bar. Brophy then tied Shaughnessy knots around the 15-minute mark, and his good shot was straight at Trevor Carson, straight down his throat. 18 minutes in, Costello found Tiffany, and a good touch to Cameron, and his shot was on target this time, but it was easily held. Cameron did have a header at the back post from a Beck cross, and Simon Murray had a really good opportunity on 35 minutes. Effetti's shot come cross, shall we call it, bicycle kick, found Murray. I don't think he was expecting it. He tried to glance it into the corner, but it was straight into the arms of Carson. Then came the opening goal, and it was Scott Tiffany after really good play by McCowan and Costello. McCowan took a touch, popped it into Costello, and his first time pass was actually really good on second viewing, and Scott Tiffany ran through and slotted it through the legs of the goalkeeper to make it 1-0 Dundee. And on the balance of play, Kenny, probably about right, although County will be ruining missed chances. At half time it's Dundee 1, Ross County 0.
Thanks to Rory. There was late first half drama at Almond Vale. Livingston against St Mirren. Let's hear from Derek Ferguson.
Yeah, at the moment it's Livingston 1, St Mirren 0. Kenny, fast and furious it's certainly been. Sometimes the football, got to say, but a bit brutal at times for Livy. Shinnie, he went close in 17 minutes with the head, and then it was Kelly trying his luck from distance for the Buddies. The best work has come down the left hand side. Tanser and Kilty looking to great, but lacking that cutting edge. Moving towards the break, Boyd Munns, he tried his luck, fizzing a shot from about 30 yards out. The keeper spilling it to James Scott. He's only 6 yards out, but fired it well over. And just as I was preparing for my pie, Kenny, at half time, Oberlai with the strike inside the box. Hemmings spilling it into the path of Tete Yengi to prod home from close range to give Livy, I've got to say, Kenny, a much needed boost. So at the moment, Livingston 1, St Mirren 0.
Thanks to Derek. So in the top flight, half time, Aberdeen 1, Hibs 1, Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 1, Ross County 0, Hearts 0, Motherwell 0, and Livingston 1, St Mirren 0. Let's then get into the Championship. Let's get to East End Park, Dunfermline at home to Arbroath, and hear from Kasim Sheikh.
Hi there. After it was a very slow start to the game. The only chance that I can report for Arbroath was after about 8 minutes, where Leighton McIntosh found himself through, tried to take a left-footed shot, well defended by the defender. Around 18 minutes, there was a free kick awarded. It was lobbed into the box, and Malachi Fagan Walcott took it on the top of the bounce. Lovely directed header into the bottom right corner of the keeper. And from there, 2 minutes later, Michael O'Halloran had a fantastic chance where he was through on goal. The keeper fell over, and he fell over as well, and it should have been 2-0. And then again, Xavier Benjamin at 36 minutes found himself with a chance at the edge of the 6-yard box, and he skied it over the bar. I think James McPate will be a little bit unhappy that his team is not around 3-0 up at half time, but as things stand, Dunfermline Athletic 1, Arbroath 0.
Thank you to Kasim. Let's now get to the Highlands. John Robertson is watching Inverness Inverness Cally Thistle against Partick Thistle.
Yeah, it's Inverness 1, Partick 0, and deserved lead for the home side. The feature of the first 10 minutes, so both teams managed to get a flurry of corners, and they used the same tactic, crowding the goalkeeper, throwing the ball right on top with lots of bodies around him. Mark Ridgers had to palm a couple away. One from McAllister for Inverness came off the top of the bar. Another one was headed from underneath Snedden's crossbar. But it was Partick that created the first chance. Brian Graham playing a 1-2 and warned Mark Ridgers' hand. A good strike and a good save for the Inverness goalkeeper. And 6 minutes later, McInroy and Graham combined again, and McInroy went down. A big shout from the Thistle players for penalty. Referee Grant Irvin said no, and then there was a ball rifled across the goal by Fitzpatrick that neither Graham or Lawless could go onto it, but Inverness took control and got their goal. The ball's played down the left hand side. McAllister with the crowd screaming up to switch it to the unmarked Cammy Kerr on the other flank. He managed to get his head up and produce a sublime 40-yard switch. Cammy Kerr took a touch, rifled it past Snedden from 14 yards to give him the knees, and it gave them even more confidence. Billy Mackay curled one just over the bar. Charlie Gilmore smashed one just over the crossbar as well. Before good play from Mackay, McAllister saw the latter smash a ball to the bottom corner and saved again by Snedden. So it's Inverness on top. Partick Thistle are not out of it, but the home side deservedly in the lead. It's 1-0.
Thanks to John Robertson. So in the Championship, Airdrie 1, Ayr United 1, Dunfermline 1, Arbroath 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 1, Partick Thistle 0, Queen's Park 0, Morton 0. The big game in League One certainly hasn't disappointed. Falkirk at home to Hamilton Accies. Let's hear from Kenny Crawford.
Yeah, the Bairns on course to going 11 points clear at the top of League One, Kenny. Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 1, but let's not jump to that conclusion too quickly. They had a blistering opening half hour. Callum Morrison lashed in his 15th of the season from the edge of the box. Then Ross McKeever tapped in his 14th of the campaign, and Calvin Miller headed home his 9th goal of the season. But Akeem Rose's goal, pulling one back after nicely rounding Nicky Hogarth, has made it 3-1, and it's just put a little bit of doubt into the Bairns fans, who there are over 5,000 of them here at the Falkirk Stadium. The second half has just started, Kenny. Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 1.
Thank you. Also in League One, Alloa 1, Cove Rangers 0, Annan 1, Stirling Albion 1, Edinburgh City 0, Queen of the South 0. As Kenny said, Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 1, Montrose 2, Kelty Hearts 0. And in League 2 this afternoon, Bonnyrigg Rose 0, East Fife 2, Clyde 1, Dumbarton 0, Elgin City 2, Stenhousemuir 1, Forfar 3, Peterhead 0, and Stranraer 1, Spartans 0. So once again, a choice of listening on Sportsound for live commentary from Celtic Park, where Celtic are playing Kilmarnock. Tuned to BBC Radio Scotland Digital, 810 medium wave, and BBC Radio Scotland Extra on BBC Sounds. For Open All Mics, you'll find that on 92 to 95 FM and BBC Radio Scotland on BBC Sounds, and both are live online at bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Football from Sportsound.
Brilliant drop of the shoulder! From BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
You're listening to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Plenty of drama in the first half. A reminder that we're with you right through until 7 o'clock this evening. We have fans lined up to give reaction to today's big game. So look ahead to the one game in the top flight tomorrow. It's a 12 o'clock start. St Johnstone at home to Rangers, and we've got some music for you this evening chosen by sports broadcaster Hayley McQueen, so stay tuned for that. Arsenal are absolutely flying this afternoon. Burnley 0, it's now Arsenal 3. Saka with that goal at the start of the second half. It's an incredible title race down in England, you'd have to say. Liverpool making their intentions very clear in the lunchtime kick-off, beating Brentford by 4-1. That was away from home. So let's get round the grounds again. Celtic at home to Kilmarnock. Kelly will still feel, Stephen, that they're very much in this game.
Kenny, they absolutely are. There was a nervous moment just right after half-time there. We're about 2 minutes into the second half. Just a looping ball into the box, and Joe Hart came and could have caught it, decided to punch, ended up punching it out for a corner, and there was groans and moans around the stadium. Kilmarnock didn't make anything off the corner. They broke up the pitch, and Yang, who's replaced Palmer at half-time, he made a good run up the pitch, taking a little bit of pressure off Joe Hart. But you're right about Kilmarnock. Derek McInnes, I'd said it just before half-time, looking around at his subs bench, if they can stay into this game, even within touching distance of goal, deep into this half, he's got the firepower now, the options, even young David Watson to come on in midfield. He'll want to use that, but he'll want to use it wisely, and his team are well within with a chance. But certainly they've been a threat this afternoon. They've been energetic, they've been brave with the ball, which he said he was looking forward to, getting that balance right between defending and attacking. They've done it well, however. Celtic have the lead.
Ayr United now have the lead again away at Airdrie. Anton Dowd with his second goal of the game there. So Airdrie 1, Ayr United 2. Spurs have equalised at home to Wolves. Kulusevski with the goal on 46 minutes, and Peterhead pulled a goal back away at Forfar. Forfar 3, Peterhead 1. Rory McAllister with a goal there on 50 minutes. Willie, how would you assess what you witnessed there in the first half at Pittodrie? What will both managers be looking to change?
I don't think either will be looking to change much, and they haven't changed much at the beginning of this half. I think, both managers will be happy with what they're getting from the players. It's been lovely football. I've enjoyed watching it. It's been really open. They're trying to play football, but it's not that negative football. It's always thinking about the forward pass first. Full-backs are getting forward for both sides as well. Beta and Miller and Devlin and McKenzie. I think the front three of both sides as well are very effective. Real pace and a directness about them. McGrath, Majowski and Duke for Aberdeen, and Yuan, Maleda and Boyd.
Problems in the line there. We'll get back to Willie Dent. Was that a chance for you?
Yeah, it was. I was just going to come in there. I was letting Willie speak. Yeah, Livingston all over the ship at the moment in the start of the second half. And I'm talking about, I want them to play a little bit more than that, but they just get caught out, and it was it was certainly it should have been in the back of it. I'm just trying to look. I think it's Jimison that's come on, because Scott's went off. James Scott has been off. I don't know if that's anything to do with the miss that he had in the first half, Kenny. I didn't see any injury problems, but Jamieson is on, and it was a wonderful chance. So a little bit of nerves running through that Livingston side. They took their time to come out into the second half, but they've got away with one there. As you would expect, St Mirren have come out on the front foot, trying to make amends from that poor first half performance.
Yeah, if they hang on, it could be huge, because looking at the live table right now, albeit they'll play the game more than the teams above them, but that would draw them to within 3 points of Ross County, who are currently behind at Dens Park. We'll get to Rory in just a couple of minutes' time to see how they are getting on in the early stages of the second period. But let's get back to Tynecastle. Hearts against Motherwell. Stalemate there, Alan.
And it's all Motherwell. Started the second half, the opening 5 minutes. They've had really good play in the wider area, especially by Gent on the left-hand side, flashing crosses across the face of the Hearts goal. And they've won themselves yet another corner. Hearts has made 2 changes. Was there that chance back? Good save. Hearts have made 2 changes at half-time.
Yes, Robbo.
It's a second goal for Inverness, and guess what we've said all day? It's that corner again. They've crowded the goalkeeper. Grant Irvin's just let it go. There's been lots of jostling in there, but this time it was Remy Savage for the home side who got above Snedden and headed it in. Inverness 2, Partick Thistle 0.
Yes, it's a big goal, that, Leanne, isn't it? Because I just wonder if Thistle maybe had any designs on challenging the top two, given that result we saw last night. Yes.
Aberdeen. Jamie McGrath finishes it. Good work down the left-hand side by Duke, who's back in form again, taking on Miller, cutting the ball back. And there was Jamie McGrath to eventually put it into the back of the net. Had to control it. He was under a good bit of pressure, but he managed to get the ball in front of himself and just poke it into the back of the net to give Aberdeen an early lead in the second half.
Yeah, it's good play, Willie, down that left-hand side. McGrath probably gets a bit more time, actually, to deal with it, get the touch, set himself and knock the ball home than he might have thought he would have got inside the penalty area.
Yep.
Just about, 7-8 yards out, perhaps. Big goal for Aberdeen.
Big goal for Alloa now, 2-0 up at home to Cove Rangers. Bobby Wales with that goal on 53 minutes. Let's get back to Alan. What were you saying there? The Wayside very much on top.
Oh yeah, they've won another corner. This is the third of the second half, Kenny. Stephen Naismith's made a couple of changes. Beningame, as I touched on, he's had to go off. And Limbasika's off as well, and on has come Atkinson and Vargas. But it's all Motherwell at the start of the second half. Still 0-0.
Newcastle United 0, Bournemouth 1. Dominic Solanke with the goal on 51 minutes. Let's then get to Dens Park. Dundee against Ross County. What's happening, Rory?
Ross County have started the second half well, Kenny. They didn't play poorly in the first half. They just were outdone with a touch of quality at the end there by Dundee. I feel a bit for Don Cowie. I did my license with Don Cowie, and I thought he was really good, and you could see that he was...
Goal at East End Park.
Yes.
The captain, Thomas O'Brien, with a fantastic header into the bottom right corner, and it's 1-1 at East End Park between Dunfermline and Arbroath.
That is a big goal for Jim McIntyre's side there. They are the bottom two teams in that league. Rory, you were saying?
Oh, it's a chance for County again. I was just saying, I think Don Cowie's a manager in the making, but I do think he's got a tough job in his hands. I feel for him because you can see the difference in Ross County. They're much more measured in their approach, and some of their approach play has been excellent, really good. They've just lacked a little bit of belief in cutting edge in front of goal, and I just feel that, you know, Derek Adams at the time came out and said that he was considering his position for a number of weeks. So if that's the case, then why leave Don Cowie in a position where you've signed all the players that you want, and then you were thinking of leaving it, then he leaves? I just think it's a really difficult position for Don Cowie to be put in, but his Ross County team have done fairly well so far. It's just whether they concede another, because Dundee do look dangerous on the counter, on the attack when they go forward, Kenny.
Rory, I don't know if you heard Don Cowie pre-match at Ibrox on Wednesday evening. He was saying that the job that he had to do with the players, getting them back on side as assistant manager after the comments of Derek Adams, it sounded like a horrendous dressing room that he had to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Listen, I mean, I was thinking when I was doing my prep for this game, I certainly can't remember across pretty much every metric as a football manager, whether it's on the pitch, whether it's dealing with the press, whether it's dealing with players, whether it's results, I cannot remember a more disappointing and poorer stint as manager across so many metrics than Derek Adams' latest one at Ross County. And that's not to say he's a bad manager and hasn't had success in the past, but my goodness, Don Cowie was put into a really difficult position, but one that he sounds like he's going to make the most of, and he seems keen to put his name down as consideration for the permanent manager's position when they ultimately make that decision, Kenny.
Yes, Kenny, he's very much got his mind on it. Yes,
Majowski's taken a sore one.
Right.
A really strange incident. It's played over the top and Majowski's into it. David Marshall comes out. He punches the ball, but he's punched Majowski as well. So I think he's taking the ball first and then taking the player second. So they're out, they're looking at him. He's lying on the ground just now and he's getting some treatment, but it's a really sore one for the striker.
Kenny Golakis.
Yes,
unbelievable. I was going to say that the next goal in this game is so important. It's gone to Akis. It's 3-2 against Falkirk. Falkirk with the 1 goal advantage, but it's another goal for Akeem Rose. What a start he's having to life on loan at Akis from Ayr United. Corner from Jamie Barjonas, headed in at the back post by Akeem Rose for his second goal of the game. Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 2.
Yeah, fight back on, as Kenny suggested, may well happen. Leanne, have you had a chance to have a look at the Majowski incident?
It was literally just as Willie described. I mean, I don't know how the officials will view it. It's almost like a follow-through in terms of the contact. David Marshall punches the ball. Looks like there's a fair bit of contact with Majowski. Both players are going for the ball. I think it's one of those ones that the goalkeepers almost get a bit more leniency and a bit more protection in terms of their own ability to come and win that type of duel. It doesn't look to me, Willie, like there's anything being looked at in terms of a VAR set. I know they'll probably wait until Majowski's back up on his feet, which looks like he is now.
Yeah.
But I would expect play to resume. I don't think they'll view it as anything else. It's just an unfortunate one for Majowski, I would need to say.
It was. No, they're restarting. It's a corner from the right hand side, so nothing from VAR.
And Athletic have gone back in front at home to Stirling Albion. Michael Ndwemi with a goal there on 58 minutes. Just confirmation coming through that one that Kenny brought us. A fight back very much on for Accies. Now 3-2 down away at Falkirk. Akeem Rose with the second of the game. Stennis Muir have equalised the League 2 leaders away at Elgin City. It's 2 apiece there. Ewan O'Reilly with a goal on 56 minutes. Derek, what's happening through at Almond Vale?
Yes, St Mirren have reacted. Obviously going to a goal behind. They've started the second half very well, pinned Livingston back. I just hope Livingston don't try and sit in and try and defend this. I don't think they're good enough, Kenny, to do that. So they've got to try and get themselves up the park, get their football going if they can. But at the moment, St Mirren started well and looking to get that equaliser.
Kenny, it was nearly an equaliser for Hamilton Accies there. Kevin O'Hara, the former Falkirk player, got on the end of the ball at a corner kick and overhead kicked it, but straight at Nicky Hogarth. It was a case of anywhere else but there, and that would have been 3-3, but it stays Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 2.
Yeah, interesting to see the reaction of that big home support if Accies can get back on level terms. Let's get back to Celtic Park. What's happening there, Stephen?
Well, there's an ironic cheer just gone around because there was a looping ball come into the box and Joe Hart caught it, so the Celtic fans were on their feet. applauding. But I've got to say, Kilmarnock have been a little bit impatient when they've got to the final third. Derek McInnes has showed his frustration that some of their build-up plays good. That final pass, Kenny, forcing it when there's another pass on, but still 1-0 to Celtic.
Chance, somewhat?
Chance for Shanklin at the back post. It's lovely play by Nuanoff. Flies it to the back. Shanklin hits it into the ground and goes across the goal. Back out the other end. It's clipped back in. He has another shot at it. Wide of the target. Still 0-0 at Tynecastle.
Montrose 2, Kelty Hearts 1. Craig Johnson with the goal there on 60 minutes. Let's then get back to Willie. Plays restarted. Is Miofsky still on, Willie?
He's okay, yeah. They're quite intense. Treatment he got from the doctor, the Aberdeen doctor, was on doing the usual tests, the concussion tests with him. Took a little bit of time, but he's up and he's fine, and he's back in his normal position. It's a really strange one, It's one of these ones where David Marshall comes out and he punches it, but it doesn't go forward, it goes sideways, and he's taken Miofsky out. So could the goalkeeper have eased off a little bit? Perhaps he could have, but at the same time he had every right to go for it. The crowd are getting a little bit anxious here. Graham Shinney been shown a yellow card for a tackle late on, and this won't be a surprise to anybody. Duke going down early originally, and the Aberdeen fans not happy with the fact that Shinney putting in a strong one on Miller is getting a yellow card. But it's a good atmosphere here. I'm not used to it. You can tell Alan Preston I'm not used to having 18,000 here. Alan, just give me a moment, please. Just give me a moment.
In the crowd up there.
It's so loud that I can hardly hear you, Alan. Sorry.
Willie, speaking of noise, actually, I saw a lot of Aberdeen fans talking about the treatment that Shayden Morris received during the week. I think someone said he'd switched off his Instagram account, because taking a lot of abuse for his performance in that first half at Pittodrie midweek.
I didn't think it was that bad. I don't do social media. I take it you're talking about social media, where really my advice to any players is switch it off and don't get involved in it. Yeah. Because it's just nonsense. It's just faceless people throwing garbage around online. But can't be nice if you're a younger person and you're on the social media. But for me, not interested in it. Never will be. Maybe it's my age, I don't know, but I think it would be good advice to tell the players just to not get involved in it.
Kenny, do you know what I found a bit awkward about that Neil Warnock had said, Celtic almost make it 2-0 with Dyson Maida, but Neil Warnock said after the game, Richard Jensen pulled out this morning, so I had to change the shape. So changing the shape in the day of the game means they haven't worked on it. Shayden Morris has been put into a bit of an alien position, defending more than what he would like to, and said, go and defend, son. And he got cut out for the penalty. It clearly affected him mentally, and he made lots of mistakes.
Yeah, Craigs, he had two centre-backs on the bench.
Yeah.
He didn't have to change the shape.
Well, there you go. So I think that was on the manager.
In the 30 minutes he changed it and put one of the centre-backs on. So, it's the manager's explanation of it's a little bit, as Kenny would say, bonkers. But I think you're right. I think if they haven't worked on it and Shayden Morris, he's getting a hard time, then I think the manager's got to take a bit of responsibility for that.
What gets him the job? Yep. What gets Warnock the job? Winning the cup, would that get him the job?
Oh, I hope not.
Wait a minute. Tom, I need to paint the picture here. Tom English was sitting back having a wee something to eat on the back of his chair. He just moved himself forward to that suggestion that Neil Warnock could be the permanent manager. Tom,
go!
I don't think he wants to be.
Saved by the bell.
Partick Thistle are back in it. Fitzpatrick, Lawless went down the right, whipped it in. Graham went for it, was nodded down. Fitzpatrick took a touch, smashed it past Mark Ridgers, and that's 19 minutes into the second half. It's Inverness Cali Thistle 2, Partick Thistle 1.
Yeah, game on there, Tom English.
I'd be surprised if Neil Warnock wanted to stay on. He's kind of ducked and dived out of the question. But the issue for Aberdeen is if Aberdeen finish fourth, which I think they still could. Look, he's a good. I don't think they should have appointed him. He's a good manager, and he's well capable of bringing Aberdeen up to fourth in this league. If they go on then and win the cup, the Aberdeen fans are going to say, give him a contract now. And if Warnock doesn't want to stay, that's going to pile more pressure on Dave Cormack and Alan Burrows. But we're projecting very far ahead. I'm not convinced that Neil Warnock wants to stay beyond this season.
Newcastle United have equalised at home to Bournemouth. Anthony Gordon from the penalty spot on 58 minutes. Aston Villa 2-0 up now with Fulham. Ollie Watkins on 56 minutes. Montrose 2, Kelty Hearts 2. Craig Johnson with equaliser there for the away side on 64, and confirmation of that goal for Partick Thistle. Aidan Fitzpatrick on 64 minutes. Inverness Cally Thistle 2, Partick Thistle 1. So let's... Yep.
Sorry, I'm still trying to come to terms with Tom English just having a wee bit, did you say?
Yeah, well, he's actually had his second. Leanne brought in something nice, and he's
just
in
checking,
2.
That was all. That surprised me, caught me off guard a little bit.
Stephen, I will not take eating lectures from. I will not take eating lectures from Kenny Mack.
That's a very fair comment.
From you, a former professional player, absolutely, Stephen.
Tom,
from the big man.
Have you gone off VAR because of the 2 rugby decisions Scotland have had in the last seconds of both games?
Robert, don't get me started on that.
I know very little about rugby, but the one against France.
How could you tell the ball was down though?
There's 5 people on about a ton of weight. Gravity, Kenny.
No, you couldn't. Could you see the ball touching the ground, Al? You can think you have. Could you see it touching?
Two things. It's peanut hugging for me. I didn't watch it.
two things. A, there's pictures of the ball down. B,
pictures with the ball. You can see the base of the ball touching the ground.
B,
I don't think you can.
Yes, and B, the television match official says there's the ball on the ground.
So why?
That's a kind of a giveaway.
Why didn't he give it then?
Because he bottled it. That's why.
I agree,
Tom. I actually spoke to Frank Hannon, the former Scotland manager, about it, and I'm just asking him, and he said that the guy in the VAR, or whatever you would call it, they call it something different, I think, there.
TMO, yeah.
That he was an inexperienced guy and wouldn't go against the referee.
No, he was a pretty experienced VAR, not a very good one. So,
see, getting back to the VAR thing, Tom, do you not think we're all going on about it, and I've let you rant and rave there? To me, there's nothing wrong with the technology. It's the people that are implementing it that's the problem.
Yeah.
You can go what you want about it, because looking at some of the incidents there, the Mullen sending off for Dundee was a shocker. The boys kick in the chest, not a penalty, shocker. That's what we've talked about before, and I've said it, and to blew my face on the start. When they're training in VAR, get ex-referees in, get ex-coaches in, get ex-players in during the training, and they'll be able to tell you, look, that happens in the box, that's not a penalty. It's just a lack of... I keep hearing it all the time, laws of the game, we get it, but laws of the game. A bit of common sense, a bit of understanding of the game, because, listen, you wouldn't get somebody who doesn't know how to fix cars to fix your car.
But
so
Robert,
why not get people who are experts in to try and help you understand the common sense aspects of the laws of the game and the rules of the game?
But it's all subjectivity, Robert. I mean, we could all sit in here, pundits, journalists, former players, and we could look at one incident and we could all have a different opinion on it. So you look at down in England, fully professional refereeing system, they're in chaos with their VAR right now, and they're years down the line, further down the line in Scotland. And you're right, it's not the technology. When people say VAR, they mean the officials. They don't mean the piece of technology, which is okay.
Leanne, you were very much on board with it at the start. Where are you now with it?
Probably caught between a rock and a hard place. I think understand it's not going to go away as much as we can speak about.
Almost an equaliser, Kilmarnock. I tell you what, Kilmarnock have been really coming into this game the last 6 or 7 minutes, and Celtic, it's been their own fault. Celtic have been knocking the ball about the 6-yard box, almost encouraging Kilmarnock to come and press him. Great in-swinging free kick from the right-hand side from Armstrong. I'm not too sure who got in the end of it. In the end, lots of bodies. Joe Hart had to help it on, but Kilmarnock really turning up the heat. Still 1-0.
It's a goal! It's a goal for Hibs. Offside. No, the flag goes up. Offside. I think it was offside. It looked as though Newell had made the deep run and looked as though he had perhaps beaten the offside trap, but he got himself into an offside situation, cut it back, and it was a substitute. Marcondes did. He finished it, certainly finished it very sweetly.
You're going to be brilliant strikers, and there he is again. Wally Moore right on cue. Lawrence Shankland, another goal. It's a free kick into the box, a downward header into the back of the net. Hearts 1, Motherwell 0.
2-0 Dundee, and Scott Tiffany gets his second. This time it's a strike from about 20-25 yards. Harsh on Ross County, I have to say.
Willie Miller, that Hibs goal's very, very tight, I'll tell you that right now. Yeah.
They are checking it, they're checking it.
Really
it was
tight.
assistant that put his flag up for it. It was well worked though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Newell
lovely.
coming deep, and the cutback and the finish from Marcondes was sublime. You know, took it in the air. Oh, it is tight, isn't it? I'm just seeing a replay of it.
I actually think it looks on.
It's a stud, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. That's what it's going to come down to.
Might be a stud, yeah. It's his trailing leg, isn't it? And it's a lovely little clip over the top.
Kenny,
it's a great
got
goal.
me.
Yeah, there, Rory.
Sorry, Kerry. Scott Tiffany, I don't know if you heard that. Line went funny, kind of cut off, but Dundee are 2 up. Tiffany strike from the edge of the box, about 20-25 yards out. Drilled it low. Keeper might be a little bit disappointed. Harsh on Ross County, I have to say. But it's Dundee 2, Ross County 0.
Thanks to Rory. That was a really nice header from Lawrence Shankland, wasn't it, Leanne? A really nice finish.
Lovely, yeah, really good goal. I think Alan had alluded to it earlier, just the quality of Shankland as well. But it's just those types of moments, not an awful lot in the game, but the quality in the delivery, the quality in the finish. He's been the difference in so many occasions this season.
Here's a question. Obviously, I think everyone now would say that Lawrence Shankland is going to Germany, right? I think it'd be madness to see otherwise. Does he start in Germany?
No.
Throw that one out there. No, you say no, Rory?
No, I don't either. I think that he's not been really a favourite of Steve's Clark.
No, but should okay, so I'll rephrase it. Should he start?
If he goes with the front two, yes. If he goes as single striker, he'll go Lyndon Dykes or he'll go Shea Adams. That's what he's always done.
It's a goal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pointed to the spot, so you're spot on there, Leanne.
Yeah, it was tight, Willie.
She usually is. Very accurate.
Absolutely.
Not often I'm wrong, but right again.
No, but the thing is, it's tough because all the screens in here, all the games are flying, and that was actually a really a great period for goals there,
Yeah,
wasn't
it just depends at times the angles that we get in here as well, Kenny. You know what it's like when they come through. It's up to the guys who are doing a good job keeping us up to speed so that we can be across it as quickly as we can.
Right, I'm bringing you up to date with some goals. So Wolves back in front away at Spurs. João Gomez on 63 minutes. Arsenal now 4-0 up away at Burnley. Leandro Trossard on 66 minutes. Clyde have doubled their advantage. Martin Rennie from the penalty spot on 68 minutes. Clyde 2, Dumbarton 0. This confirmation, a really nice goal from Lawrence Shankland on 67 minutes. Hearts 1, Motherwell 0. As Rory was telling us, a double for Scott Tiffany. That's him 2-0 up at home to Ross County. Fulham back in it at home to Aston Villa. Muniz with a goal on 63 minutes. Cove Rangers back in it away at Alloa. Kyle Connell on 71, so that's Alloa 2, Cove Rangers 1, and Bournemouth are back in front away at Newcastle. Semenyo with a goal there. Newcastle United 1, Bournemouth 2. That's all the goal news. Alan, it's maybe a bit unfair with Rob in the programme, but I was just putting some questions down earlier on for the fans that are joining us later. And
Robbo, I know what you're going to say.
Well, no. Well, actually, I want you to do this. I'll give you a bit of time to think about this. I'm going to ask the Hearts fan. I know he's at the game, so he won't be listening to this, I doubt, but I'll give him a bit of time on that as well. I was going to say to him, in reverse order, 3 to 1, the top 3 Hearts strikers you've seen in your lifetime. How about that time?
Scatchell would be 3, Shankland 2, Robbo 1.
Yeah, Scatchell. Yeah.
Scatchell scored. Oh! What an effort from Vargas off the post. Great ball in. Vargas on the volley, right foot, crashes off the post.
Oh, brilliant effort. Brilliant effort.
I agree with Biscuits, Kenny.
Would you go with that, Derek? Yeah.
The reason I'm saying he's the best finisher I played with throughout my career, and I was at Rangers for 7 years. There you go. Best finisher, the best finisher.
Best finisher. Yeah.
So anybody else
made
that
a few
come
mistakes
close
in his life, though. He should have signed for Aberdeen when I gave him the opportunity.
Tell us about that.
That long story, trying to get him up here. Yeah, well, I was looking for a striker, wasn't I? And there was none better than Robbo, so we put an offer in. It kept going up. Who was the chairman at that time, Alan? The flamboyant chairman?
Wallace Mercer.
Wallace Mercer it was. He was in a cruise ship in the Caribbean, and my assistant chairman or stand-in chairman was trying to get a hold of him and do the deal, and I started at 400. It went to 550. I think it was Dennis Miller was wanting to take it up to 600 at that time. A lot of money. I said no, but if I'd have got him at 600, I would have taken him. Some striker.
Robert, what were you aware of at the time then, as the player involved? How kept informed were you?
I was told that there was a bid in, but listen, times have changed, as I say. In those days, it's an interesting debate and one that, you know, players out of contract still had to stay at the club if the club offered the same money or more. So, yeah, you know, the club held all the cards and all this, but listen, it worked out well for everybody. You know, Aberdeen got Duncan Shearer, who's bizarrely sitting right in front of me at the moment, and I stayed at Hearts and went on. And I'm just disappointed in Alan Press that I'm not numbers 1, 2 and 3.
That's you. When he played golf for him, Kenny, it tells you about his 27 derby goals. Who crossed on, what the crowd was.
Remembers everyone. I can imagine.
I know I gave you a wonder goal in the semi-final from across. Anyway, that's all you need to know.
Right, Alloa have gone 3-1 up now at home to Cove Rangers. Taylor Stephen on 73 minutes. Queen of the South 1-0 up. Yes.
And this could be a game changer. It's a penalty to Partick Thistle. The ball was a quick free kick. Inverness it switched off. It went down the side. It was played into Robinson, who's come as a sub. He was clipped by Nathan Shaw. It's a penalty kick. Brian Graham has grabbed it, and this could go 2-2. And if it does, it's going to be a big last 15 minutes here.
Yeah, they look dead and buried. The Partick Thistle away to Inverness. Cali Thistle, Joe Mbungo has put Queen of the South 1-0 up away at Edinburgh City, and that is you up to date with all the latest goal news. So we'll stay with Robbo for that, and then we'll get back around the grounds. I can just see Derek McInnes made a couple of substitutions there at Celtic Park, so we'll get to Stephen in just a minute. So who's stepping up for this, Robbo?
Brian Graham. Matt Ridgers, great record for saving penalties. Brian Graham's got a good one for scoring. It's a battle of wits, but this is, in the context of this game and both team seasons, this could be huge. If it goes 2-2 with 50 minutes to go, what a game we'll have to finish off. Brian Graham, goal! 2-2.
Yeah, that is quite the fight back for Chris Doolan's side there, the ever reliable Brian Graham from the penalty spot. So I'll just give you the latest scores actually, and then we'll go around the grounds and see what's happening, a bit more detail. So in the Premiership, Aberdeen 2, Hibs 2, Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 2, Ross County 0, Hearts 1, Motherwell 0, Livingston 1, St Mirren 0. In the Championship, Airdrie 1, Ayr United 2, Dunfermline 1, Arbroath 1, Inverness, Cali Thistle 2, Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 0, Morton 0. In League 1, Alloa 3, Cove Rangers 1, Annan Athletic 2, Stirling Albion 1, Edinburgh City 0, Queen of the South 1, Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 2, Montrose 3, Kelty Hearts 2. And in League 2 this afternoon, the latest scores: Bonnyrigg Rose 0, East Fife 2, Clyde 2, Dumbarton 0, Elgin City 2, Stenhousemuir 2, Forfar 3, Peterhead 1, Stranraer 1, Spartans 0. And in England, it finished at lunchtime: Brentford 1, Liverpool 4. The 3 o'clock kickoffs: Arsenal 4-0 up away at Burnley, Fulham 1, Aston Villa 2, Newcastle United 1, Bournemouth 2, Nottingham Forest 1, West Ham United 0. The Hammers down to 10 men. Spurs 1, Wolves 2, Manchester City against Chelsea 5:30. Yes!
Inverness are back in front. They've gone down the right hand side. Pepe crossed to the back post. Cameron Harper knocked it back in, and it's Nathan Shaw who's drilled it home. It's Inverness 3, Partick Thistle 2.
Wow, that is some game. There is also a 3-2
here as well, Kenny.
Yeah, on you go, Derek.
Yeah, the goal scorer is having a little go with Gogic. There was a little incident. Ulazanya went down. He's just come onto the park. I'm not so sure. It's obviously the VAR's had a look at it. It's no penalty, but if it isn't, it's a clear dive. He should be booked for diving then, you know. And he's in a good position. He's in the box, you know. He's getting an opportunity, you know, to get a ball across. I think they're having a check. They might be doing that at the moment. I mean, it's away. I've got a sore neck in the second half. It's been all St Mirren, but they've created very little. Cohen's had an opportunity, but it's just ball after ball into the box, and Livingston have dealt with it. And I was just expecting St Mirren just at times to find another way, maybe through the middle, maybe play a little bit more narrow, but no, they've just worked the ball into wide areas and delivery after delivery. But they've dealt with it very well, and we're waiting on a decision. Referees get the ball.
Right.
I don't know if Leanne has maybe had a little look.
Yeah, I've just had a look then now. It was Carson, wasn't it, that dived into the challenge?
Yeah, it's in the byline, but it's right in the byline.
If there's contact, there's minimal contact. For me, in first sight, I don't think it's a penalty, if I'm being honest. But if he does catch the inside of his leg just as he kind of chops back inside, the referees might view it differently, but for me it looked very, very soft.
It's a long wait.
And it seemed soft from here, because it...
Because he chops back inside and I actually think he could just stay on his feet.
I was going to say,
and he sold Carson, is the way it looked to me.
And that's why I'm saying if it's a dive, book him then, because I think you've got an opportunity to stay on your feet in the box and get a cross in, or maybe a hit at goal, but he's chose to go to the deck, and he's gave the officials a decision to make, and they are certainly taking their time.
That is a heck of a long wait, isn't it?
And this is one of my...
I've got a feeling you might need to be looking pretty close to see how much contact, if any, there is.
Minimal touch. He's going to the monitor.
Has he been asked over?
I think you're right, Leanne. Is what I'm hearing. It's minimal the touch, but is it enough to go over?
Yeah, Montrose 3, Kelty Hearts 2, Graham Webster on 77 minutes. Just checking any other goals coming. We're waiting on this.
Big
decision.
having a good look at it. And it's massive for Livingston as well.
It's a stab of a toe, sorry, Derek. I don't know if Tom can see this in the screen there, just at the bottom right.
Yes.
Carson dives in, he misses the ball, of course, but it's a touch in the inside of the leg.
See, they're looking at it this long. I don't think it's a penalty then.
No.
I think he's going to give it, but
the reason why he's been brought over as well
penalty kick. We've got a penalty.
What do you think, Tom?
Look, I mean, we're too far away from it. I want to see a close-up replay of that.
Well, I'm about
it just
80
takes so
yards
long.
away, and that's one of the things. But it looked as if I thought, as he's just what Leanne's describing, it must have been just a
goes
skiff.
back to what you said earlier, Derek. If you look long enough, you'll find something.
You'll find something. Yep.
The thing is, Carson's dived in and he's not played the ball. Is the kind of long and short as well as how the referees will view it. So if they viewed it as he's impeded his opponent almost, but for us looking at it, it's as soft as they probably get. Yeah.
So who's taking it, Derek?
I'm just having a look. It looks as if it's
Mandron. I think it might be.
Yeah. Come up.
Big moment here.
Yes, it is. Left-footed. Down the middle. Saved that. The keeper has saved it. I tell you what, it's a poor penalty. Lack conviction. If you're going to put it down the middle, get through with the laces and put a bit of power behind it. But no, just the keeper actually dives to his right-hand side, but gets enough to keep out the back of the net. So a massive moment for Livingston, and the fans are reacting to that.
The amount of penalty incidents that Livingston have been involved in this season, Tom, everyone has been either missing them,
they've been in the receiving end as well,
normally missing.
I know.
Yeah.
But now there's another one that's gone.
That was a dreadful penalty.
Well, see what it meant to David Martindale as well. He's really pumped up, as you would expect down there. So massive moment.
Right, let's give you the goal. So 4 for 3, Peterhead 2, Flynn Duffy with the goal there in 79 minutes. Arsenal now 5-0 up away at Burnley. Kai Havertz on 78. Ayr United have extended their advantage. It's a hat-trick for Anton Dowds. That's on 78 minutes. Airdrie 1, Ayr United 3, and that is you right up to date with all the latest scores. Let's get to Celtic Park. Still very much in the balance, Stephen.
What's up there? Oh, Kelly's missed. He's hit it from about 40 yards. I'm looking down just to... as you do, right a few things. I lifted my head. He's just on the spin, puts it as it just skips past that right-hand post. I've just lifted my head. I thought, right, I better mark that down, what's happened with the penalty. I've lifted my head, and the keeper's scrambling back. He's never going to get there, and it's just went inches past that right-hand post.
He's very unlucky.
Illusion, Fergie. I thought you had it on the mind.
No idea what Hemming was doing to start with, Derek. It's him that gives the ball away, takes a free kick quickly, gives it straight to Kelly. The goal's wide open.
I was just going to say, his distribution, Hemming's distribution this afternoon has been really poor. So, that's when I've just put my head down. I thought, I'll mark a couple of wee things. Even though that Biscuit's marking down a couple of things, doing my work.
It's on the head,
even though he's like, what is he, 35 yards out there? He should score.
He should hit the target.
It's ridiculous to say it, but it's an open goal. The goalkeeper's struggling to regain his ground.
And do you know the reason why, Tom? Because it's raining here, the skiddy surface, you don't need to put a lot of power in it.
Yeah.
Just a little ping, just straight through the ball, it's into the back of the net.
Right,
He's just pulled it.
Let's get back to Celtic Park. Stephen, what's happening?
Well, Celtic got a chance to seal all 3 points there. Bernardo had a shot from the edge of the box, Kenny, but I've got to say the game in general has been compulsive viewing because Celtic haven't managed to shake Kilmarnock off. Derek McInnes has made the subs, Balagizzi has come on, Greg Stewart's come on, Kevin Van Veen. What I would say is they've lost a little bit of the rhythm since those 3 players come on. Sometimes you think bringing on attacking players, it'll give you more impetus, it'll give you more of a threat. Kilmarnock have lost their shape a little bit. Celtic have managed it quite well, I have to say though, but both teams still really going for it, and with just under 10 minutes to go, there's still plenty to play for.
Alloa 4, Cove Rangers 1, Taylor Steven with the goal in 85 minutes. Yes.
Yeah, Kenny, substitution here. David Marshall took a heavy knock inside the box there. Couldn't see exactly what happened, had some treatment, but he's have to come off, so they've had to bring on the Walcott, the substitute goalkeeper. So we've had a good 5 minutes or so of a stop here, and have had to change their goalkeeper.
And in terms of the game, who's in charge who's in charge up there, Willie? Is anyone looking likely to go on and win this?
From an Aberdeen, they've brought on Junior Hoylett. Don't know too much about him. Experienced Canadian international, seemingly. He's come on, he's a left winger. I think when you've got Majowski on the field of play, then
goal!
Yes, John.
3-all. This time the ball's played in. It's not back by Milne. And we're talking about Laura Shankland, but the Shankland of the championship, Brian Graham is smacked in a left foot ball into the top left-hand corner. It's Inverness 3, Partick Thistle 3.
Yeah, goals flying in the championship. Airdrie back in at home to Ayr United. Craig Watson with the goal in 84 minutes. Airdrie 2, Ayr United 3. Yes, Alan, you were saying?
No, and Robbo knows I'm a wee mate Keith, when he had signed Walcott, he was telling me it was Theo Walcott. And he told everybody we've signed Theo Walcott.
You see, Kyogo's obviously gone off, but and again, looking at the stats, two touches in the opposition box, 1 goal. Stephen, how involved was he in the play?
I have to say, some of his link-up play was tidy.
Right.
He was coming off and linking up, and he had some nice little touches to play Matt O'Reilly in. He was involved in other things. He certainly isn't as influential in games as what he was last year, Tom. And that comes down to Celtic probably not putting the ball forward quick enough, not being as direct. But you then have to give credit to the opposition, because I think a lot of teams caught on to that. The Kyogo played in the last line of defence. So rather than squeezing up when there's no pressure on the ball, teams are dropping off. So I think they limited his space, not just Kilmarnock, but earlier in the season as well. So I think he's caught in between being a number 9 running in behind and wanting to come and link up. But yeah, certainly he wasn't as influential, but if he won 1-0 and his goals are the difference, then he's certainly been influential with the goal scoring front.
And in terms of their wayside there, what have they offered this afternoon, Stephen?
Well, they've carried a threat. Derek McInnes said he wanted to come here and carry a threat. Joe Hart had a couple of good saves. He had a couple of saves in the first half, he had a good save in the second half. Danny Armstrong had a shot at the back post. Derek McInnes was frustrated. He probably should have done a little bit better with. So, you aren't going to get a plethora of chances when you come here to Celtic Park, but if you can create 4 or 5 good ones, then I think you've had a reasonable afternoon with regards to an attacking sense. But Greg Stewart, Kevin Van Veen, Balzighi, David Watson's coming on. Is there something left in this for Kilmarnock? They have to hope so.
They've had a point-blank header as well, haven't they? Was it Donnelly who had the point-blank header?
Well, that was one of the Joe Hart saves.
Yeah.
That was the save in the first half. He had a save down low as well. He had a save over in the second half. I think it was Stuart Findlay possibly tipped it over the crossbar. Danny Armstrong with the shot. So they certainly carried enough of a threat. Celtic, as always, are creative. They open up defences, but Kilmarnock have looked strong defensively, and they've certainly taken part in this game.
Yeah, still very much in the balance there. Rangers play tomorrow away at St Johnstone. Full coverage on Sports, and the game kicks off at midday. So join the team for that one. Let's then continue round the grounds. Anything at all, Alan, from Motherwell? You said they had plenty of chances before Hearts opened the scoring.
They did, but since Lauren Shankland goal in 66 minutes, it's been all Hearts. Forrest had an effort. Vargas hit the post. Motherwell did have an effort from Payton. The shot was deflected. Clark was going one way, ball went the other, but wide of the target. And then just as all that was happening at Livingston, Vargas, lovely play, gave it to Forrest. Wonderful save by Kelly. So it's still 1-0, Kenny, 86 on the clock.
Rory, and you're saying a bit hard on Ross County behind at Dens Park against Dundee?
Yeah, I would say it's a bit harsh on the balance of play. Dundee have looked much better in attack when they have went forward. I think they just lack belief. Simon Murray's looked sharp. Brophy's had a snapshot actually on the spin which just flew past the post. But yeah, I just don't know if they believe. You just watching them, I don't know if I believe that they can actually score a goal, which is a shame given some of their approach play has been quite good, as I said. As for Dundee, Owen Beck's limped off injured, which is a bit of a concern. It's a heavy pitch. I don't know if it's a muscular injury. Mo Silla has been outstanding today. Scott Tiffany scored 2 goals and Mo Silla's got man of the match, so just a sign of how good he's been today. You know, something your team scores a brace, they would generally speaking get man of the match, but it was Mo Silla who picked up man of the match. But the second goal knocked the stuffing out of County, Kenny, absolutely well and truly. Any belief or hope they did have, it completely dispersed at that point. And I just can't see them getting back into this.
Ken, I have to say there's a few nerves around Celtic Park. I mean, it isn't very often when Callum McGregor miskicks the ball up in the air, the full stadium was grumbling and moaning. Just sends a few nerves around amongst the players. They know how important it is to win this game, with Rangers now level, or could be level, with having to play St Johnstone tomorrow. And Van Veen fizzes it across goal. David Watson, oh, he hits it off the side netting. The Kilmarnock players have their hands in their head. They feel it should be a corner, but another big chance for Kilmarnock, and the groans are just getting a little bit louder.
Yeah, that
David
was
Martindale just get a yellow card. That's nonsense. You know, and it's brilliant because atmosphere is just lifted. Davy's getting a bit excited. The referee runs, 70, 80 yards just to produce a yellow card. Just go on with it. Absolute nonsense.
There's so much at stake there today. This will be a huge 3 points for Livy if they can hang on.
And you can feel it with the fans, and that's what makes the game sometimes. You know, they've been under so much pressure in the second half, Livy. You know, they're hanging on at the moment. We go into the latter stages of the game. They're defending for their lives, and you know, and there was a little decision. It was a 50-50. Fans get excited. So does the bench as well. But I don't know why the fourth official has to get involved with that. This is what the football's all about.
Oh, no.
Yes, it is, Robbo. Come on.
It's a straight red card here, and we talked about the Lawrence Shanklin one being bad. The ball was miscontrolled by the Park Thistle player. He went for it with his head, and I think it was Gilmore who put his boot up, but it wasn't a lunge or anything like that. It's clipped, probably clipped the Park Thistle. He's not even getting treatment, the Park Thistle player, and the referee Evans given a straight red card. It's Max Anderson has been sent off, but it was not, again, we talk about knowing the game, we talk about common sense. There was no maliciousness in it. He's led with the sole of his boot. The Park Thistle player's just got there in front of him, and he sent Max Anderson off. It's an absolutely shocking decision from the referee.
Willie, what's happening up there? Closing stages at Pittodrie?
Oh, it's very tight, Kenny. You know, there's nothing between these two sides. You look at that league table, and it's being reflected in this game. You know, there has been opportunities as well for both sides, and they're still going for it. You know, none of the two of them have settled. You would expect maybe Hibs, you know, being the away side, to be quite happy and try to run down the clock, but no chance, and they're still playing their football as well. At times maybe getting them into a little bit of bother, but we've seen that before. As far as Aberdeen's concerned, the fans are a little bit frustrated. You know, they thought that Aberdeen had the game there to be won, and they did, but fair play to Hibs. They've played well today. Aberdeen have played well today. It's been a sensational game of football, well entertained, and Kenny, just so much fun.
It was promised, and it has been delivered, certainly over the past 2 games for Neil Warnock. So very much in the balance up there, very tense, as Willie was telling us. Still tense at Celtic Park, Stephen.
Yeah, it is. I think it's Joe Wright's gone down, so we've had a little stop and play for the last 3 or 4 minutes. We'll just add time on. Derek McInnes has made us 5 subs, so we can't even take him off. But Celtic know now if they can get the second goal, which Callum McGregor fizzes it across goal. If they get the second goal now, it's game over. If they have to see it out as a 1-0, it'll certainly be a nervy ending to the game.
We're into 4 added on minutes at Tynecastle, and I've just seen Stuart Kettlewell tell Davis McGavie to go and play centre forward, so they have got a front 4 try to get back in the game. Still 1-0 to Hearts.
Yeah, it sounds quite harsh on the wayside, Alan. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, they've played well, Motherwell. You know, I think if they play like this, and you know, they'll be fine. It's been decent from them league-wise since the turn of the year.
Alan, was it a cross ball for the goal, was it?
It was, yeah. It was a free kick. Forrest, good ball in.
It's just further and heightens the moment that I've said, the point that I've been making. They cannot defend set plays or cross ball, smoke and play. Kills them.
Kenny, 10 minutes. Time added on here at Pittodrie, so still plenty of time for one of these teams to win it.
15 clearance, third. Vargas, brilliant touch. Smash with the left foot across the keeper into the side net, and game's done. 2-0. Stuart Kettle absolutely fuming in front of me. He's having a right go, the fourth official. He's going berserk. The goal will be looked at, will certainly be checked at.
I can't help but hear you listen to the goals coming in, Alan, and feel that you're trying to provoke Willie at every announcement.
Exactly, that's what it's always been about, Liam.
It's all right.
This will be checked.
There's
going to be checked.
There's an equaliser at Celtic Park. David Watson, I've got to say, wonderful cross by Fraser Murray. One of the other substitutes from the left-hand side dinks it into the back post, and David Watson gets above everybody. Joe Hart can't keep it out with his left hand. I said it was coming, I said it was nervy. Kilmarnock have equalised. Incredible scenes at Celtic Park. The fans are streaming out. Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 1.
That could be a huge moment in the title race. Tom English Watson, he's a fine young player at the back post there, a nice header.
He's excellent. He's been excellent, and fair play to Derek McInnes. He's done a great job with him. He's got a talent, and McInnes has brought out that talent.
We've got a real problem here with the two dugouts. Gordon Forrest in, Frank McAvoy's in.
Why is it always
Stevie Frail, Richard Foster, Stuart Kettlewell, they're all in.
Why is it always the wee guys that win first?
Ricky would definitely be there.
3-3.
Thanks, Robbo. Some game there in the Highlands. Inverness Cali Thistle 3, Partick Thistle 3. Newcastle United equalised in the 92nd minute at home to Bournemouth. Montrose 4, Kelty Hearts 2. Kane Hester
the referee's
with
coming
a goal
over
in
here.
95 minutes.
He's going to have to do something, Ken. Chris Graham, the ref's coming over. He's coming over to speak to the fourth official. There was a melee between the two dugouts in the second half. So the referee's coming over. He's explaining now, and he's pointing. There's going to be a yellow card for Forrest of Hearts, and I would imagine it'll be Kettlewell, Stuart Kettlewell and Motherwell. Yeah, both yellow carded by the referee.
There's a goal check at Celtic Park as well, Crags, and honestly, if this...
what is the possible
I think they push on
here?
Burnaby.
There was no push.
That Watson is pushed Burnaby to gain an advantage in a jump. Burnaby's posted missing defensively. He's totally caught underneath the ball. Watson's movement's brilliant. There's...
You know, sometimes you have to jump and you have to use your arm to get off the ground.
Exactly, Craig.
Just in case anyone doesn't understand that. Ultimately, I haven't witnessed the replay. No, goals given.
Yeah,
1-1.
27 minutes of time added on here. 17 games without a win. Is this the day that they're going to get that win?
That would be huge if they could do it. So
that's Watson's second goal at Parkhead this season. I was there earlier in the season, and he scored. It was a right good finish as well.
Yeah, I just think he's a really, really good young player. I love his attitude. Seen him a few times. Very, very good. So that's a late equaliser. The 92nd minute. Celtic 1, Kilmarnock 1. Is that the reaction we can hear from the home fans here, Stephen?
Oh, Kenny, furious. I mean, I said to you, even when it was 1-0, when Joe Hart came and made a punch.
Full time at Tynecastle. The cruise to third goes on. 2-0 at Hearts.
And Callum McGregor had that misplaced clearance. There was a real nervousness, frustration. You can tell they're coming this afternoon. Brendan Rodgers, hands in his pocket, head down a little bit. But I was saying it during the game that Celtic couldn't shake Kilmarnock off. They kept coming, and Derek made the changes, and it's paid off. Well, he'll hope it pays off for them.
They've had chances,
yeah, they
Stephen.
have, Tom. Totally,
you know, a few minutes before, Watson whacks one into the side net, and they've had point-blank headers saved by Joe Hart. This, as you said in commentary, this was coming.
Statistically, in terms of chances, they're very even in the game. Celtic have dominated with regards to possession and the passes completed, etc. But when you look at shots and targets, 5 apiece, shots inside the box, it's 10-8 in Celtic's favour. There's not been much between the sides, as the scoreline reflects.
And they certainly haven't came here and stole a point, if they do get a point.
Full time in Falkirk.
Thanks,
Kenny. Full time in Falkirk. Falkirk 3, Hamilton Accies 2.
Tom.
The Bairns go 11 points clear at the top of League One.
Thanks, Kenny.
Tom, can I just ask you said earlier on that, you know, Warnock can still get Aberdeen to fourth. I'm not saying that you think that will happen, but you said it's still possible. I haven't seen a good bit of Dundee and Kilmarnock and St Mirren this season. I think the top 6 is cemented. I don't see the top 6 changing. I think the current top 6 will be in the top 6 come the 33 game mark. If Aberdeen are to grab fourth, they'll need to finish in that top 6 after 33 games. Do you have a particular team in mind that you think might fall out?
Well, I mean, I'm looking. They're 3 points off top 6 at the moment. You know, they're 3 points behind Dundee.
5 currently, because they're drawing and Dundee are winning.
Okay, is it 5? Is it 5?
Yeah, it's a table stands, yeah.
Fraser Murray's through. No, Tony Ralston's got back. He's got him on a one-on-one. Cutting inside. Oh, good save by Joe Hart. They could have won it. Big chance for Fraser Murray.
My goodness.
And as you can imagine, the noise is getting even louder.
Good numbers in support as well. I don't know if that's what Derek McInnes is perhaps saying as well, Craigs. Could Murray have just laid it in a plate for somebody else? Get every right to take it on right enough when you're...
Majowski at the back post. He should have done better. Maybe not as good as Long Shanklin, but still a top goal scorer. On that occasion, that would have been superb. Young Mackenzie down the left-hand side, a teasing cross to the back post. There's Majowski. He just doesn't get enough on it. And it's an easy take for the Hibs goalkeeper.
I think, just Rory following up, I think Aberdeen, I might be wrong, but I think Aberdeen have a better squad than Hibs. I think they have a better squad than Dundee and a better squad than St Mirren. They're just not showing it. Now the league table disproves that, but I think...
Sorry, Tom, that is full time.
There we go.
1-2-0.
Right, in terms of...
what a chance for St Mirren. Jameson, ball in the back post. How's he missed it? How has
full
he
time,
missed
Kenny?
it?
It's a big chance,
yes.
Eric.
Full time 1-1, and the songs from the Green Brigade was Peter Lawwell, don't be here for much longer, basically. 1-1.
Wow, we'll get the action. We've got a Celtic fan joining us later in the programme. We'll hear live from Brendan Rodgers. I mean, my goodness, Tom, it's incredible. But it's a lot of Celtic fans felt had they spent properly in the summer and in January, they should have been away and gone.
I like they can sing what they like about Peter Lawwell, and they're entitled to because they pay their money and they can sing what they want. This is a Brendan Rodgers failure. I mean, what makes Brendan Rodgers kind of immune from criticism? His team have struggled routinely against teams that they should be beating. Kilmarnock were more than value for a point. And if Celtic have struggled, yes, they haven't done any signings, that's on the board. But the Brendan Rodgers team is malfunctioning, and that's down to the manager.
Yeah, I think as well, Stephen, we have to pay a lot of credit. We did it before the game, speaking with Derek McInnes and the job that he's doing there. Again, we've got a Kelly fan joining us later. He must have fancied that today because he's done so well against Old Firm this season. You there, Stephen?
He was really bold in his team selection, really brave in his team selection. As players got after the game, yes, they had to absorb pressure, but when they got forward, they ran forward, they pressed, they harried, they created chances, they defended their box. All the things Derek spoke about ahead of the game to Carradine. He said so many things have to work for you or have to be right to get something out of the game, and they were pitch perfect today. They really, really were. Everything about them. This squad is really grown.
East End Park.
Yes.
Dunfermline Athletic won, Arbroath won. Dunfermline will be gutted that they have not got the 3 points here.
Thanks, Kasim.
Yeah, so this squad's really grown. Coming here, 1 defeat in 12. If they couldn't be confident after that, they were never going to be confident.
There's no fear factor when you're playing against Celtic now, Stephen. There is, especially if you're Kilmarnock and you've already turned them over this season.
You also have to say, Tom, at times in the past, people have said Derek McInnes as the manager is too pragmatic. You know, he takes off forwards and puts on defenders, and Aberdeen fans are critical. So today I was really curious to see how he would approach the game. Well, tell you what, he threw pragmatic in the bin and he really went after him, so fair play to him.
Yeah, that is a huge result for Kilmarnock, and in terms of the title race advantage, Rangers now who play away at St Johnstone tomorrow. Let's get back to you, Willie. Deep into stoppage time there at Pittodrie.
It is, yeah, and it's still anybody's game. It's Hibs on the offensive just now, having a throw in there, putting it into the box, and another little opportunity for them. But Aberdeen have had good forays forward as well, really threatening. The substitute Hoylett coming on, really pacey down the left-hand side, taking over from Duke, and you know, long stoppages as well, particularly when David Marshall was getting the treatment and had to go off, but they haven't given up, and you know, fair play to Hibs. This is as good as I've seen a Hibs team for quite some time, and Aberdeen playing at a high level as well. You know, if it finishes a draw, I think that would be fair, but at the same time, there's none of them. That's it, finished. It's a draw here at Pittodrie, 2-2.
Right, well, Kenny, Livingston, have they got it? Yes, they have done it. 17 games, 18 games, they've finally done it. I tell you what, St Mirren threw absolutely everything at them. Says he would come out swinging. That was his words, wasn't it? There was a few uppercuts. They do a few jabs, but they've finally done it. Fair play to them. Livingston beat St Mirren 1-0.
Yeah, Tete Yengi with that goal right in the stroke of half-time. St Mirren had the big chance in the second half. Mikael Manderom from the penalty spot. It was a dreadful penalty. A fairly comfortable save from the goalkeeper. So much reaction. My goodness, late drama right at the end there. We've got fans ready to get engaged with the programme. We've got the managers. We'll hear from Brendan Rodgers live. We heard from Stephen Craig in there, the reaction from the Celtic fans. Plenty more to come on Sports Sound right after the BBC Radio Scotland news at 1 minute past 5.
On digital radio.